Hello and welcome into the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. It's another Monday, which means it's time for another Esports Tower Rumble, where some of the talented all-star teams of the Esports Tower take on some of the best high school Rocket League teams in the nation. They battle each week in a standalone bracket to become the champion, and we're going to see if we'll have a repeat winner, as we have St. John's Bosco back in the lineup, or if we'll have a new team take them down in this week's Esports Tower Rumble. I'm Michael Fisher, joined by Artie Nerdy Bird Rain to call all of the action. And Nerdy Bird, I think we have to start this week with seeing if any team can slow down St. John's Bosco, because they absolutely ran through our Rumble a few weeks ago. And maybe the bye week will slow them down, but really it felt like their only competitor was themselves last time.
I can't argue with you on that note. I mean, rewatching last week's broadcast, I once again found myself saying I genuinely want to see this group of high schoolers take on, like, one of the Boise State Rocket League teams, because I feel like it would genuinely give the Boise State team a run for their money. They are a force to be reckoned with going into this next week. But as you mentioned, they did have a bye week, and sometimes if you don't pick up the game for a week, it can really affect how you play. So hopefully they didn't make that mistake like I have done in the past with various other games, and kept their practice up and kept their communications on point and continue to do that this week.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure the Esports Tower teams had a ton of VOD review to try and figure out how they can crack this St. John's Bosco team, who really just ran through everybody last time we saw them play. So would not be shocked if maybe the Barracuda, maybe another team in the Esports Tower, the Swerve, I know you and I have been hyping up as a team we think could maybe jump jump to that next level. One of those teams might give St. John's Bosco a run for their money. We will just have to find out. If you are just joining us, this is how it works. Every week, some of the best high school teams and Esports Tower Elite teams will have a standalone bracket. They will begin with group play. We'll have 7 teams in this week's format. It'll be best of 3 in the group play all the way to the finals, which will then be a best of 5. All the Rocket League rules, pretty standard if you've ever picked up the game. 5-minute matches, sudden death, overtime, etc., etc. Here are the teams this week: St. John's Bosco, Grayson, and then a pair of new teams, but you might see some familiar faces. Prospect Team 1 is made up of players from Conestoga High School and Forsyth Central. We've seen them quite a lot in the Rumble, so they have joined forces. Meanwhile, Prospect Team 2 made up of players from different teams coming together to compete this week. So Prospect Team 1, you're going to see a lot of familiar faces, maybe even on Prospect Team 2. And here is our Esports Tower teams. It is the Barracudas, the Swerve, and the Scorpions. Barracudas, of course, multi-time champions, one of the best Esports Tower teams, but the Swerve are up and coming nerdy, and they can maybe give somebody a run for their money depending on how the brackets play out.
For a second there, I was a little confused about the Prospect teams because they had what looked like the Rook piece for their logo, and I was like, wait a minute, did Esports Tower do away with all the animal team names? And I kind of got sad because I love animals, but then I realized, oh, that's a makeup of the high school teams, not quite part of Esports Tower, but that are a part of our tournament here. So I'm still happy that we get to keep our animal references.
No, we have cat. Well, Swerve's not really an animal, unfortunately.
I know.
That one kind of. That kind of went off the rails. But yeah, we have our Barracudas and our Scorpions. We said prospect teams, probably just high schools. I mean, spring break, finals. We can't have a full roster. Can we combine? That's what we'll take a look at. But as always, the group play's already in the books, but we will take a look back at how everything went. We'll catch you up to speed. We'll kick off with a banger of a game. St. John's Bosco's and the Barracudas, probably one of the best matches for group play we could have started off with. We said St. John's Bosco, they're the returning champions. They're in blue. The Barracudas in orange. You see an early goal there by St. John's Bosco. They're looking to continue the domination they showed out last time. They come out fast. Barracudas, they've struggled a little bit, Nerdy. We've hyped them up. They've had a 3rd and a 4th place finish. They want to get back to that championship. They are motivated, but St. John's Bosco has all of the pressure. Even with a late surge here from Yeezy, it's just unfortunately not going to be enough. They get into a game 3, but St. John's Bosco comes out on top 2-1 over the Barracudas.
I have faith in the Barracudas. You can have hiccups.
St. John's Bosco, the fact they got him in game 3 is impressive because St. John's Bosco did not drop many. Continuing on, it's still St. John's Bosco. It's Prospect Team 1, as we mentioned. This is made up of Conestoga and Forsyth Central High. So those are teams we've seen in the Rumble before. Prospect Team 1 comes out of the gate strong. They get that 1-0 lead, but even when trailing, St. John's Bosco's consistently create so much pressure. They barely let their opponents breathe. One of the coolest things is St. John's Bosco can create so many unfavorable 50-50s anytime a ball goes in the air, and this just creates so many opportunities. Prospect 1, they get this game into overtime, but unfortunately St. John's Bosco way too strong. They'll take the series 2-0, and they're looking pretty strong right now in this week's Rumble.
So you mentioned that this Prospect team is made up of Forsyth Central and what other team?
Conestoga. We haven't seen it in a while, but we have seen in brawls, and they were a consistent bracket 4th or 3rd place team. So this is some talented players on this Prospect 1 team.
It seems like these 2 Prospect teams might have also been kind of picked to give the St. John's Bosco a run for their money, just a tiny bit.
We see now our first look at Prospect Team 2, just made up of players from different teams coming together. Don't know exactly where they are from, but they jump out to an early lead over the Barracudas. The Barracudas need this win to guarantee themselves a spot in the bracket stages. This was a very tough group. You had the Barracudas, St. John's Bosco, both of the Prospect teams. We see the score is tied at 1 aside with just under a minute actually left. Knight able to get a big goal here for Prospect Team 2, putting them up 1 late in the match. Barracudas looking for some redemption. They're going to actually send this game into overtime, but unfortunately they'll lose the series 2-0, and Prospect Team 2 coming to play here today.
No-name teams obviously do not have a struggle making a name for themselves within just a short amount of time. Nicely done to both. Shout-outs to both Prospect teams here.
Yeah, I know. I see Spooky in some of these highlights. I remember him once from one of our teams. I didn't recognize Knight, or I believe Dante DNA was the other one. So those are some new names, and they're coming out really, really strong. Well, we always have our highlight match of the group, and this time it'll be the 2 Prospect teams. We're going to take a live 5-minute look at one of the games from Prospect Team 2 and Prospect Team 1. Hopefully, to avoid confusion, it'll be Team 2 in the orange and Team 1 in the blue, because unfortunately we can't just call them both prospects. So Team 2 is in the orange, Team 1 is in the blue, and we'll kick this one off. It's be a kickoff right near midfield. Crimson wins that one cleanly. As now we see Beanman setting it up for Ren near midfield. Ooh, great challenge there by a member of the orange team, and Crimson just able to keep it alive. Spooky hits it back towards midfield and stops that, at least for now. We see one last shot on goal, but Dante is able to make a great save. Ooh, nice second save there by Knight.
The follow-up was great. Beanman's there, though, trying to do the 2v1, but it is going to get booped away by Spooky down here into the corner. We have Ren, who's waiting to drop back towards the blue goal and manages to get the knock back towards the orange goal with the redirect that might go in, and the follow-up from Ren from across the field will be the first goal.
Beanman and Crimson, 2 names I definitely remember as very strong players. Ren, though, coming out with that early goal, and right off the kickoff, opportunity here to try and tie things up for Team 2. And nice clear away there by Crimson. Knight will go retreating. Ooh, him and Ren both kind of went for the ball and then pulled back, and that's an unfortunate clear right onto Crimson, and that's an early 2-0 lead for Prospect 1.
It happens sometimes that you can't even chalk that one up to miscommunication because they're opposite sides just being like, okay, I can't get this ball, but that happens is we do have a member of Team 2 right now trying to get this ball over towards the goal, but Beanman's going to snag it and just have to make it past 1 to get it into the goal, but it's going to be knocked away by Dante and redirected down into the corner. Ren's going to follow it up and try to maintain some control here on the side.
Ooh, wide open chance here for Team 1 to get that 3-0 lead. They just barely miss it. Now they've got to go retreating in a hurry. Crimson tries to clear it away from Knight, but Knight has it in the corner. Crimson at least stops it for now, but can't quite clear it away. Spooky and Ren collide. Ooh, Dante maybe fell off the ball a little bit too far, but a great pass over to Spooky. He just misses what would have been a wide open net, and that's what Team 2 really needed to maybe try and get back in this game and cut into this deficit.
We do still have 3.5 minutes remaining, though, so they have a shot, as we do see Ren is able to corral this ball here above their own net, playing it over one member of Team 2. However, Spooky's going to run, Dante's going to run in and pop the ball high into the air, but Crimson's going to knock that ball down onto the ground, allowing for a shot on goal, and it's just going to be a little too high.
Ooh, Dante's going to air dribble this one. Can he redirect it? Oh, my goodness.
My, that was clean.
That was a great goal. He even had, I think, Knight down there, but who needs him?
That just the rotations, the dribbling, that was beautiful.
Subtitle on the scoreboard is Fliptastic, and I 100% believe that one is right off the kickoff. Oh, Ren barely makes him save, and Beanman gets it clear. We nearly had a tie game just like that.
That was heart palpitations inducing. I don't appreciate that, but it's okay as we have another shot, and it does go in. So that is now our tie game. Like literally, what, 2 seconds after we said we almost had a tie?
Yeah, Prospect Team 2 has come alive in the orange in these last 45 seconds. We'll see if they can get another goal here in this game. You see, nice pass over to Dante. Crimson steals it away, though, plays it off the wall to himself. Can't quite find it, and Ren. Oh, just perfect shot there, and we've got an absolute scoring fiesta here in the last minute.
We do see the 50-50 go in favor of Team 2, though, as no one from the side of Team 1 was managing to get a touch on that ball. We have Dante trying to center it on the goal, but it looks like Crimson's giving him a run for his money, and now Beanman's going to take it up the wall, play it over one member of Team 2, but can't quite find that last touch to get it in the goal. Ren's there for the follow-up, but it's going to be cleared just a little bit wide to the net. Seeing a
little bit of double commits there from Team 2, nearly cost him, but Spooky's now going to launch one down. He's got Knight right there. Knight misses, but it kind of confuses Ren, who's trying to predict a shot from Knight, and that's going to leave the ball right in front of that blue net. Knight with a second chance! And they'll just lightly tap it in, and that's going to tie things up once again.
That last kickoff was a little messy as this next 50-50 goes in favor of Team 1. But however, the touch is going to go wide of the goal. All 3 members of the blue side are down here on the orange goal. We have a minor double commit coming out in the form of Spooky and Dante on that ball. However, the clear is going to go wide over Ren's head, so they won't be able to get a touch on it. We get the pass back off the wall with the follow-up from Spooky, but it won't be enough. Ren is going to manage to elevate and clear it back down towards the orange side.
Great intercept in midair. Crimson's going to try to take a shot. Looks like we've got a demo off screen onto a member of Team 2. He will respawn. Though looks like it was Knight. Ooh, they tried to pass to Crimson, intercepted. Dante, only man on defense, barely challenges that one, but hasn't found a clear just yet. Over a minute now left on the clock. You see Crimson trying to dribble it down. He's not able to find it. Spooky tries to clear it. This one kept alive, but now the orange team has a great chance in a 2-on-1. Dante tried to pass it to Knight, who was wide open in front of the net. Just couldn't quite find it, and they're going to clear it all the way back down to the orange side.
We've got Spooky taking the ball up the wall right now, trying to play it over a member of Team 1, but they over-rotate, leaving Crimson and Red to manage to snag it back and knock it towards the orange goal. Spooky's going to hit it once again with Ren bouncing it off the wall over himself, and it's going to manage to get a shot in on the goal for Team 2, and that brings us to 3-4 with just under a minute remaining.
It was kind of weird. There was a double commit that left the member of the Team 2 in a bad spot, and then he ended up being in the perfect spot for that crossbar goal. So sometimes double commits do work out. Beanman has to make a huge save to keep his team in it. Demolition does come out on to Beanman, who was in the goal. Knight's trying to take advantage. He's not able to find it, though, and Crimson will clear it away. Spooky playing defensively, doesn't want to blow this lead, gets it over one. Might have a chance to put this game away, and Beanman makes a huge save. 15 seconds left. Dante's trying to find the goal here, but Team 1 might have one last chance.
We've got Ren trying to clear the ball away from his net. The follow-up from Beanman's just going to pop it high in the air, and we've got Spooky coming in, as well as Dante trying to get that shot on goal. Neither are going to find it. However, we've got a triple commit coming out from Team 1 right here, and the ball hits the ground with no time left.
Prospect Team 2 ends up winning that series. Just really an impressive overall showing from both of those teams. Well, that is only Group A. We still have Group B to go. Going to look at some of our other Esports Towers teams. Both the Swerve and the Scorpion will be in this group, as well as Grayson School. So we'll see who will be joining them in the bracket. As now apparently we've mastered cloning here at the Esports Arena. Look out. I mean, maybe I'll be on a team here soon. The fish team.
3 fishes.
That would be pretty, I mean.
You'd have a school of fish.
I always tell my opponents in solo queue, if there were 3 of me and none of you, I'd probably win more games. So we kick off with Group B. We see Grayson in blue, the Esports Tower Scorpions in orange. Grayson School played this week with DJ TJ from Forsyth, who was really impressed in recent weeks, and he wasted no time. He's looking to score early here in this one, and does that on quite a goal there. You'll see Llama Guy scoring as well. The Scorpions have come a long way in the last few weeks of the Rumble, really improving as a team, practicing a lot outside the event. Starting showing they can hold their own against some of the higher-ranked teams in this event. We're excited to see how they keep growing, but right now Grayson School just really looks to be meshing. Llama God and DJ TJ both had great performances, and Grayson's going to take this one 2-0. So another combination school, and it looks like the comms working out well.
I don't know what it is about these combination teams. You would think that the mojo just wouldn't quite be there yet with just a week of kind of, getting to know each other and getting to understand how each player plays a little bit differently and play off of each other. But they are not struggling in any way, shape, or form as far as I can see. No,
DJ TJ has slotted it right in perfectly to this team. We'll hop into our next one. It'll be the Swerve versus the Grayson School. Swerve in the orange, Grayson is the blue. Grayson showing some great individual performances in their round 1 match, but those efforts tough early in this game as both teams battling it out. DJ TJ, the fill-in player, scores the first goal of the game once again. Puts Grayson up 1-0. The Swerve added a teammate this week by the name of Flux. See if he's going to be able to provide them that extra spark they've been missing, as this is a very talented team with guys like Anthony, who is one of our early high school championship teams. We see this game is all knotted up with just under a minute left. Both teams able to score in the final minute, and they do go to overtime, tied at 2. Swerve been working hard over the last few weeks on team coordination and showcasing this today. Both teams with new players have an extremely close and exciting game, but the Swerve end up scoring late in overtime. They take the series 2-0, and this might be the game they needed to maybe make a run in the bracket.
Ooh, that was a sneaky demolition right there.
Checking in with our final round of Group B, we have the Swerve and the Scorpions. Swerve in orange, Scorpions in blue. The Swerve looking to continue their run, secure the first seed in Group B. They score within 30 seconds of the match. The new addition, Flux, to the Swerve has really been paying off and may be that missing piece. Primarily a solo player, has been working hard to make some improvements and great strides in his team play. Scorpion trying to just keep their hopes alive in the bracket stage, but the Swerve are just unfortunately too strong. Swerve with consistent pressure in that backfield allowed them to build a big lead in this game. Anthony leads the team to victory with 4 goals, and the Swerve take that series 2 over the Scorpions, and they'll be in our bracket play, and they're definitely a team that you and I, Nerdy, have to feel good about. We've been preaching about them for the last few weeks, and they finally make it come true.
It does make my monkey brain happy to see them popping off. And also, because these are 2 Esports Tower teams, I have one thing to say, and that is happy birthday, D'Antoni.
Well, there you go, the birthday shout out. And as we see this game wind to a close, we're going to have actually a special edition of our premier match of the week, as it is a best-of-1 play-in game. To see who will be the last team in the bracket stage. It will not be a Group B highlight. It will instead be a game between the Barracudas and the Grayson School. Barracudas are the 4th seed. They end up tied with Grayson School, who is the 5th seed. So they will play in a best-of-1 that we will cover live. One of them will go to the finals, where the other 3 teams are waiting. The other will unfortunately have to wait until the next Rumble. So it is the Barracudas. It is Grayson School. It is a special edition of our premier match of the week.
My heart goes out to both these teams. I understand this is a very high-anxiety game right here as we go into this first kickoff, because a one-and-done is always difficult. Yeah,
it does say best of 3 on the scoreboard. That is not correct. We wanted to up the ante, so there's a best of 1. Yeezy's going to take it on net. Quez is there, not able to find it, though. Llama Guy looking for the clear. See Jockstrot now trying to maybe make something happen, but DJ TJ is able to clear it away. Pass over to Sunky, but that one's going to be intercepted. Llama Guy trying to keep the pressure up, but Quez and Jockstrot should be able to combine for a nice clear.
Jockstrot, that makes a beautiful clear in front of the goal with a follow-up right there from Quez, but it's going to be knocked away by DJ TJ, who, of course, is kind of being a triple threat as always, but the redirect that is attempted by Llama kind of results in their own goal.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I think you're right. I think it's going to be the Llama Guy. He was looking for a clear. Paul took kind of a funky hop.
It happens.
Yeah, it does happen. In these best of 1s, those mistakes sometimes can be your undoing. We also got our new, I think, Season 3 Rocket League map here. No one's taken a drive around the outside track yet, which I hope to see at some point as we get that ball cleared down to DJ TJ. He is a fill-in player for Grayson this week, trying to do his best as Yeezy takes a shot on net. Jockstrot can't quite keep it alive as Sunky's going to try and clear it, but Quez keeps the pressure on. This is a Barracudas team that has a ton of speed they play with, and there's a demolition off screen, but DJ TJ is able to clear it away.
But the follow-up right there from Jockstrot is going to get them a nice, easy pass over into the goal, but the follow-up from Llama Guy is going to get it sent into the corner. Quez is going to elevate to try and knock this ball in, and he manages to do just that, landing the second score there for the Barracudas.
Just a great play here by Quez. We'll see it. He totally fakes them all out, just kind of slow plays it right off the backboard. I think they thought he would go for a quick shot. Just absolutely magnificent aerial car, control. I don't know how these guys do it. I would have just flown right past the ball. And Quez has got his team up 2-0. Nice clear, though, from Grayson. Unfortunately, Easy is there. And this Barracudas team looking like they are in really late season form right now with how fast they're playing and how dominant they've been in our first 2 minutes of the game.
Maybe it was all calculated on the side of the Barracudas. Who knows?
Maybe. We see Quez, take a shot just wide. DJ TJ barely pops it up over Yeezy, but Llama Guy finds the clear. Only 1 shot on goal so far for Grayson. Well, this could be a chance here for DJ TJ. Ball just goes wide. Sunky, ball kind of pinballs around and away from the net. Llama Guy keeps it alive, rolls it right there, but Jockstrot's going to make a nice save, and the Barracudas feeling nice and safe, looking for a clear.
We've got Quez elevating, managing to get at the clear, but it's calculated perfectly by DJ, who's going to stall it in the air with a pop-up. But the follow-up from Quez right there will send it back towards the blue goal, and Yeezy's going to pop it down for Jockstrot to just hammer that ball right into the goal.
This is an excellent play here. As Quez just stops it perfectly to throw off DJ TJ completely, and there's nothing Sunky can do. Nobody was expecting him to maybe hit the ball down. Maybe thought he was going to take another shot, and the Barracudas absolutely in peak form right now. We'll see if Grayson, who had a couple of impressive performances in our group play highlights we saw, especially from DJ TJ, their fill-in player, see if they can maybe come back here in our final 2.5 minutes. But the pressure all Barracudas right now as there's a mini clear from DJ TJ. Yeezy, though, reads that one and launch it all the way back down into the corner. Ricochet right in front of the net. Llama Guy will at least pinch it off the back wall. Yeezy with a rare mistake. Jockstrot will come in, bail him out, try and center it up, but Sunky's going to be able to clear it down and maybe set up an opportunity.
We've got Quez putting on the pressure onto Sunky here in the corner, and the follow-up from Yeezy, but it's not going to quite be enough, forcing Jockstrot to elevate and pop the ball high in front of the the goal right here. Jockstrot's trying to get another touch on it, but the follow-up from Yeezy will be enough, sending it back to the midfield.
TJ keeps it alive until Jockstrot launches it all the way down into the blue corner. Can't find the follow-up off the wall. Quez will take the shot. Ooh, unfortunately water falls down way away from the net. It's ended up going to cost Quez as he gets demoed there. Ball now, great opportunity. Llama just wasn't fast enough. Quez looking for a clear, can't find a pass to Yeezy, but Sunky's going to misplay that. TJ takes a shot. Is there any follow-up? Oh, great contest. I think that was from Quez to force that quick shot from Sunky, and he just barely missed it.
That's always unfortunate, but hats off to the follow-up right there as we do see the blue sides rushing back towards their goal to prevent Yeezy and Quez from having an easy shot. Jockstrot's there for the third follow-up with a shot on goal. It's going to go wide to the left of the net. TJ is going to pop the ball high into the corner, forcing Quez to go after that ball, and it's going to finally be cleared out. But Yeezy's there for that follow-up and manages to find that fourth goal with just a little over a minute remaining.
Barely sneaks it past. I think that was TJ. Kind of will pinball there up with the crossbar and just barely bounces in. And unfortunately, even for that great defensive effort, the ball went in the back of the net, and Grayson is just running out of time. They have less than a minute and a half to find 4 goals, and unfortunately, TJ is the only player with shots right now for Grayson. The rest of the team has been absolutely shut out offensively as Quez looking for one more, not able to find it. Does get challenged by TJ up on the wall. Sunky steals it away from Jockstrot, has an opportunity. Can't quite play it around easy.
We've got DJ retreating back towards the goal, playing it off that back corner, manages to get away from Quez as we do see it. Unfortunately, does end up right back towards Yeezy and Jockstrot. They pass between each other, but the disruption coming out from Sunky's going to be enough to slow that approach down here in the corner, and now the ball's kind of dead in the water. Jockstrot will elevate, pop it high above the goal. DJ will also elevate, getting a slight clear to himself, taking it up the side. Yeezy will elevate, popping the ball down onto the ground. Llama Guy will knock it back against the wall.
Nice save there by TJ. 30 seconds left, though, unfortunately. This could be a nice goal for him to at least put Grayson on the board, but unfortunately in 24 seconds, 3 goals will be almost impossible, but it's at least nice they end up with 1 here in our best-of-1 playoff play-in game.
I love how we have to use non-absolute language between the two of us here with almost impossible, otherwise we could curse ourselves.
Exactly. It's all, I mean, until you're in the block 3-0, anything is theoretically possible, you'd have to guess, so you got to give the other team some hope. Unfortunately, this is not how the 24 seconds should have started if you wanted a chance back in. Quez is going to rip a shot. Ooh, just misses, gets his own rebound, and now we can pretty much say this game is all wrapped up.
With 4 seconds going off the timer, it is just a matter of that ball hitting the ground. There might be some fancy footwork happening in order to keep the ball from touching that ground and maybe score 1 extra goal. It is still live, and I think we've had maybe 2 extra seconds, but Sunky will finally allow it to hit the ground.
Well, that will take us to our bracket stage. The Barracudas will be joining as the 4th seed, winning that best-of-1 in pretty dominating fashion over Grayson School. The rest of the teams we have are as follows with a 3-0 record in Group A. Fine taking down St. John's Bosco. It is Prospect Team 2 who gets the first seed. St. John's Bosco will still advance. They have a 2-1 record. From Group B, it'll be the Swerve who advance with a 2-0 record with a great performance from their newest member, Flux. And then we just saw, to round out the top 4, the Barracudas will come out strong, and they will make it to the semifinals where they hope to get to the championship. They've fallen short. They've gotten a 3rd and 4th place finish, but they want a chance at another trophy. It would be their 3rd. So we saw the bracket. Prospect Team 2, they're looking pretty strong in their players we haven't heard of. We're going to take a quick break, and we will be back with our bracket. Who's claiming the Esports Tower Rumble Championship this week? Stay tuned and find out.
news says Gen Z is struggling. I've got news for them.
I wait tables, but last week I built a field hospital.
I put out a forest fire.
I stopped 1,000 attackers.
And a natural disaster.
I've saved lives. And led a team on patrol.
I serve.
Well, I go to school full-time.
While I work full-time.
The greater the challenge, the stronger we become.
Welcome back to our Esports Tower Rumble. We're on to the bracket stage. We've got 4 talented teams. The Barracudas having to work just a bit harder in winning our first ever play-in game over the Grayson School to be able to make it in as that 4th seed. And they're not going to have their work cut out for them as they're going to be taking on the #1 overall seed from this week's Root Play Fish and Nerdy Bird. Still here calling all of the action. We'll start off in our semifinals with Prospect Team 2, made up of one player that we have seen in the past in Spooky and a couple of new players, Ren and Knight, who have been very impressive in the highlights we saw from the group page. They were 3-0, even taking down last week's champion, St. John's Bosco. They're playing the Barracudas here, Dirty, so the Barracudas already with their work cut out for them. These teams already played in the group stage, and I believe Prospect Team 2 won, so it's a little bit of revenge for the Barracudas if they want to make another championship game.
Okay, so I think we saw kind of like an upwards trend for the Barracudas, at least like that first game when they did play against Prospect Team. I think they were kind of still in that warm-up phase, whereas I understand that it was a high-stakes play-in game, and it is anxiety-inducing for both myself if I were in that situation, even myself as a caster, it's anxiety-inducing, and for the Barracudas, so I can understand that kind of might have made them up their game a little bit and could have also exhausted them. But I'm hoping that they keep that speed and pressure that they had from that last game to make this grudge match, the pseudo-grudge match, because, you know, we're all friends here, fun and exciting for both these teams. And I can't call which team I want to see come out on top because I like both of these teams already.
Yeah, I'll be really curious to see more from this Prospect Team 2. They were the only Prospect Team 2 advance. We don't have to worry about a Team 1 versus Team 2 final, at least. But this is a very interesting team, of course, with, you know, school year starting to wrap up, spring break starting to go on. Teams have been a little bit more, needing of a fill, so that's kind of how you end up with this Prospect Team where we take some of the best players we've seen, jam them all together on one team. And so far, Prospect Team 2 has clearly gelled very, very well. We'll see how they do here against the Barracudas. Remember, it's still a best of 3. Only our finals will be a best of 5. So anything can happen in game 1. But before we get into the game, we're going to go to Doc's keys, which is play the shot and the rebound, disrupt the pathing of attackers, defend an attack boost, and rotate to the back post quickly. It's brought to you by the Esports Tower. Score pro advice at esportstower.com. Improve your game sense, improve your team play, and improve your performance under pressure. You'll get matched with great players and professional coaches to help you rank up. But the Barracudas are a prime example of that, one of our consistently strongest teams in our Esports Tower Rumble, and they're trying to snap what a lot of teams will be happy with, 3rd and 4th place finishes, but for the Barracudas, that's not where they want to be.
I think the Esports Tower has cookies, and they give cookies to their teams every time that they do something that makes them happy. That's my hunch.
Well, apparently the Barracudas are not happy. Maybe it's like oatmeal raisin if you make it to the semifinal and chocolate chip if you make it to the championship. Because the Barracudas want to get back to that championship. They want to be the first team in the Esports Tower to have 3 of those trophies hanging up somewhere. As we see right out the kickoff, though, Spooky's just going to win, and that's a way to send a message, a kickoff goal within the first seconds of our first semifinal of the week.
Yeah, Quez was there. They tried to get the touch. I don't think they did. There was a slight double commit coming out from Spooky and one of their teammates, which might have been enough to not allow that semi-touch from Quez to do anything there. As we do see this next 50-50 goes in favor of Prospect Team 1, with Spooky managing to get more possession on than anybody else. Dante with the follow-up, playing it off the wall. It's going to get spiked high above them. They get the demolition out onto Jockstrot, forcing them to respawn, but Yeezy's going to get a clear over here into the corner with Spooky going up the wall to try and play it down, but Spooky's going to get demoed, forcing Dante to make a quick save there and have to battle Jockstrot here for this ball.
Easy's going to get demoed off screen, which will kind of slow down that attack. We're seeing Yaz respawn right where the ball ends up landing. Knight with a great challenge. Spooky rattles it around, wants to play it to himself. Great save by Quez. Dante's now got a chance. Doesn't quite get the first hit he wants on the ball. He's trying to carry it in. Oh, the double tap just goes wide of the net. Great slam off the backboard there from Quez. Look for a clear. Now Yeezy will just bump it down. Can't quite get it past Dante, though, so the pressure's still on from Prospect Team 2. That shot, oh! I didn't think it was going in, and it just barely sneaks through.
This is, I'm in the same boat as you. I honestly thought that there was a touch right there that was enough to make it not go in. That was, oh my goodness, Knight, your paint job is perfect for your name too. I'm sorry, but that was beautiful. So we go into this next kickoff here. It's gonna go more in favor of Yeezy, even though there was kind of a stall out there at the midfield with the follow-up from Knight, gonna keep the ball here down in the corner.
Quez can't quite clear it away. Yeezy's right next to him. Double commit from the Barracudas. Now they have a wide open net. Oh, Yeezy makes a great save. Spooky thought he had an open goal and probably didn't hit it as hard as he wanted to. We'll see if the Barracudas can make him pay. Jockstrap's going to take a shot. It goes way wide of the net. Knight will just clear that one away. Racing down. Nice job by Quez. Pinching it over to Yeezy. That shot, barely can't sweep past Dante. And Spooky's going to be able to find a quick clear. And then get a demolition onto Yeezy, and that will probably kill any offensive prowess that the Barracudas have.
We've got Dante who managed to spike the ball down in the corner, but Yeezy calculates it perfectly and pops it into the air for Jockstrap to get it clear down into the corner. Dante will elevate, playing it around 2 members of the side of the Barracudas, 3 members to get that third goal for Prospect Team 2?
Yep.
Dang. This is beautiful.
Prospect Team 2 has come out on fire. They beat St. John's Bosco in the group play, and they right now are looking like maybe the team to beat. They are absolutely popping off here, but it's only 2 minutes gone by, so plenty of time for the Barracudas to come back. We know this is a talented team that can do that. See Quez looking for an angle. He's got Yeezy near midfield. That communication might have been a breakdown as Yeezy was retreating and Quez wanted the pass. Jockstrap also tried to pass to Quez, and he bailed on it. Yeezy's going to get demoed, so it's going to be a 3-on-2. That should allow Knight to clear it away, and the Barracudas looking a little bit rusty right now.
That's okay. They've got time to clean things up here. We do see Spooky slowing down the pace a little bit, losing the ball there, allowing Yeezy to spike it into the corner. For a couple of members of the side of the Barracudas do retreat. There's multiple demolitions coming out onto 2 members of the side of the Prospects, forcing them to respawn as we see Dante play the ball off the corner. However, Jockstrap calculates that one perfectly, managing to get another shot on the goal. Still playing that forward position right there and keeping those balls on the side of the blue field. Dante rotates back, trying to make sure they don't leave that goal open for an easy shot for the Barracudas.
Knight's going to set it up for Dante, who blasts it home.
I'm telling you, Fish, I feel like these Prospect teams were literally put together, yes, with the overarching reason of, hey, we're on spring break, we need new teams because we're low on rosters. But I feel like they were put together to give St. John's Bosco and the Barracudas a run for their money.
Yeah, I mean, the crazy thing is like, unless it's a name change, we have seen players, change their name. I mean, we haven't ever seen Knight or Dante, and they are absolutely incredible. Spooky we've seen, and he gets a demolition right on cue, but Yeezy's able to make a great save. Yeah, that's what blows my mind about Prospect Team 2, is these are players we had never heard of coming into this week's Rumble, and they are absolutely playing out of their mind. As Knight's going to hit it back, Jockstrap barely makes a save, and that's going to be cleared across. I would expect we'll see more of Prospect Team 2 in the future because this is a very strong team.
I can't argue that as we see Spooky and Knight play off of each other to create that 5th goal in a 5-0 lead right now. I think we have just a little bit over or under 90 seconds remaining here in this first round of the best of 3. Yeezy and Quez were both there, but they did not elevate to try and pop that ball away. I don't know what is happening. Maybe this is just the calculation round for the side of the Barracudas, but Prospect is just coming together and clobbering this team right now.
See a little bit of a double kick from Dante and Spooky, but Dante plays it over 2 members perfectly.
Oh my gosh!
And Knight just reads it. It's a hat trick for Knight.
Oh my, what is this?
This will be a great angle. Dante plays it perfectly. Knight's like, I'll take that. Thank you very much, buddy. We'll put it home, and I mean, there is just no answer the Barracudas have for this Prospect team. Luckily, it's a best of 3, so this game, the scoreline doesn't matter if it's 1-0 or 10-0. And Yeezy, kind of gave up on what looked like a free goal. I think the Barracudas definitely are going to need that 60-second reset between games to clear their head, because they are not playing like the team we're used to seeing right now.
I know they are capable of coming together at the second match and, you know, pulling everything back and realizing their mistakes and fixing it, as we do see them already showing more signs of life right now, creating more side control here on the blue side, keeping the ball in their possession longer than they were at the beginning of this round. So they're showing those signs of life. Maybe right now it's just the don't gas yourself, let's just do the best we can, as we see that demolition come out on Jockstrot, and Knight manages to get yet another goal in for his team, making it a 7-0 differential. As I'm saying these names out loud, I actually have a hunch that these might be people we've seen. They just changed their names to match a theme, and I think it's the Spooky Knight Dante.
Apparently, if these are players we have seen, I mean, I would just love to know who they were, because I haven't seen many players on the individual skill level of Knight, Dante, and Spooky right now. And I mean, also it'd be crazy to see how long these guys have been practicing together, because this is like a well-oiled machine for Prospect right now. I mean, you saw that demolition perfectly from Spooky in front of the net. We're seeing some risky double commits from the Barracudas, and the Prospects feels like a team they've been playing together since, you know, the release of Rocket League. These guys are on top of it. Rare miss there from Spooky. Wide open net, but Dante's got his back. He'll clear it away. Quez keeps it alive. Barracuda's looking for a goal here, and Dante's probably going to deny any chance of that. He clears it down in front of the net.
Ooh.
Easy will at least dribble it away to prevent an 8th goal.
Easy, that was beautiful. I can't argue that. I'm glad we had the first-person camera on you for that one.
Time will tick down. Prospect Team 2 will come out with a 7-0 win, but it is a best-of-3 goal differential. Doesn't matter, so now we get 60 seconds for the Barracudas to see if they think they can figure out what went wrong that game, or if it will be more of the same, because right now Prospect Team 2 is looking on another level.
All right, so we've got, you know, Doc's standard keys to the game here, but I feel like there was two that have kind of come in and out of those Doc's keys that I want to touch on right now, especially to the Barracudas, and that is, you know, make sure you win those 50-50 kickoffs. You have to make sure that you're in positions to allow for your team to win those.
Yep.
And then the second one is, yes, this is a high-octane game, and I know the Barracudas are notorious for being high-octane and just constantly going fast, and I love that. However, you can control the pace of the match more than you believe and slow it down to put you in a more advantageous position. Keep that in mind. You can cause stalls. You can demo people. Use that to your advantage. Use the boost starvation techniques that you've seen other players do, and keep the pace at something that is comfortable for you, even if it's not the pace you want the match to be at.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely feels like if you're playing at speed, Prospect Team 2 is like, okay, we'll run with you any day of the week and maybe even run a little bit faster. I think the other thing is the Barracudas, I mean, I feel like they kind of got in their own head after that goal that you and I think it was from Knight, the very first one, where we both thought there was another touch and it hit a crossbar, because there's a couple goals where it looked like the Barracudas like, oh, this doesn't go in. We'll just kind of wait in front of the net and play the rebound, and it just trickles in and nobody's there. So got to clear your head if the Barracudas. I know that score can be lopsided and it can really, really bring you down, but Game 2's kicking off. Nice kickoff there, at least to keep it near midfield. Dante's going to have the first attempt here offensively. Going to air dribble it home. What? And my goodness, not as fast as Game 1, but
I hope we get the nice side angle on. Look at this. He's not even like, wow. That was like a razor's edge, just holding the ball right there and dropping it right in the net.
I don't know if there's a way to defend that, honestly. I mean,
No.
Jockstrot tried. Yeezy was on the ground. Another kickoff. That one's going to ricochet so close to the goal. Quez going to miss on it, but now follows up the rebound, tries to center it, but loses the dribble once again. Spooky down to Knight. Maybe looking for a follow-up off the backboard, but a nice challenge by Yeezy. But still, it's offensive pressure from Prospect Team 2. Barracudas have got to solve here in game number 2 if they want to come back.
We've got Dante keeping a lot of this pressure here at the midfield, making sure that if that ball does cross the line, they're able to rotate back. But Knight is there with a follow-up from that shot on goal, getting them, I think, the second goal already within under a minute here in round 2.
I mean, just look how close Yeezy and Quez are to each other. That's not something you see a lot from the Barracudas, where they're occupying the same space. They usually do such a good job with their spacing. It just feels like Prospect Team 2 has shattered that, as another kickoff will go over to the orange side, but Yeezy should be able to win that one, but Knight will immediately slam it back into the other corner. And you see Jockstrot and Quez already sitting in goal, and the Barracudas are playing very passive. There's a demo, but a miss on the ball is going to leave it in a 2-on-1. But Knight makes a great save.
Jockstrot, Yeezy, Quez, I don't know if y'all can hear me, but you know Jockstrot is that defending force you've had before, and Yeezy and Quez, you two have some sort of chemistry that is perfect for making those offensive pushes Find your heart and soul once again. I know you guys can do this. There's Jockstrap once again, elevating, making a great save. Yeezy's there to pop it over a couple members of the side of Prospect, and now we've got the triple commit coming out from the Barracudas as we now have Knight with possession of the ball, clearing it into the midfield.
Dante barely misses on that one. Quez is going to launch it all the way back. Can't quite get the rebound he wanted over to Yeezy, and Jockstrap will be forced to reset. Tries to play it to himself, but Spooky pops it up in the air. He's got Knight right in front of the net. Multiple members of the Barracudas trying to catch that ball. Finally, Quez gets it, but Knight with a misplay! And Yeezy gets the first goal of the series for the Barracudas, and they're within one.
With the assist from Quez, you two, you can make these shots happen. You gotta work together. You guys have a chemistry that exists. Let me see it, pull it out, find it, drop the chemical compound together to get it back.
Great start for the Barracudas, but they still got some work cut out for them. Prospect Team 2's had a ton of pressure, but this, another great one. It's going to be saved by Knight, but they're starting to crack this Prospect Team 2 defensive. There's a collision in the net from two players. Spooky nearly playing for the wrong team for a little bit. Runs into Dante twice, but Dante's still able to make the save despite the sleeper agent. Now Spooky, realizing he's on the blue team again, will clear it down. Looking for a shot on the net, but Yeezy clears that one away. Still a chance here, and Yeezy finally going to hit it back to the blue side.
And we got Dante calculating that shot perfectly, managing to get it knocked down. However, all three members of the Barracudas are here for their chance to get that ball into the goal. Yeezy gets a shot. Spooky will be there for the clear. Jockstrap elevates, managing to maintain the ball onto the blue side. We've got Quez in position to take a shot on the goal. If Yeezy can manage to snipe this ball out away from Spooky, and they do just that, but the follow-up from Dante is just going to be a little bit too much. Thankfully, Jockstrap's waiting in the corner, managing to get some pressure here onto this team of the Prospects.
Oh, tried to drop that one in, but Dante shot a bit wide, and Knight has to go retreating towards midfield, so he'll just play it backwards, grab the full boost in the corner. And now survey his options. He's got Quez challenging, plays it around him. Yeezy, though, does enough to keep it alive for the Barracudas. Dante's going to hit it down. Knight just needs to redirect it.
Oh, no.
And he does, and it's back to a 2-goal lead with 2 minutes on the clock.
It's doable. Even if you don't focus so much on the score. Yes, I'm gonna have to involve the score, but one goal per minute while just disrupting the side of the Prospects enough so they can't get a goal. You can do this. And I've seen the Barracudas score multiple goals within like a 30-second period as we see this first 50-50 actually go in favor of the Barracudas, but Knight just had a little more momentum and manages to snag the ball away from them, taking the ball up the side, and kind of a double commit coming out from Dante there onto Knight. So now it gives the Barracudas this opportunity for the offensive push, and they do just that with Yeezy scoring the second goal for the side of the Barracudas.
Yeah, great challenge by Knight, but there was only so much he could do in the one-on-one. Ends up hitting it right back into Yeezy. He had Quez right behind him as well, I believe, for the follow-up, and right just like that, we're back to a 1-goal game. We'll see if the Barracudas can tie things up, maybe get us to a game 3, but a clean kickoff win there for Dante. Spooky's going to take a shot just wide. Is there a follow-up? No, Knight hits it too far wide of the net. He'll recenter it for Dante, whose shot goes wide. Follow-up attempt for Knight, but the ball gets popped over him. Fortunately, can't keep it on that blue side for long. As Spooky clears it back, Dante near midfield pops it up in the air, looking for another sick dribble. Oh, totally catches him flat-footed, but Yeezy comes in and bails out Quez.
Oh, thank goodness, Yeezy. Those two are the power combos. We do see Quez taking the ball up. Yeezy's going to take it up the side. They see Quez down in the corner, but Dante's going to be there for the disruption. Jockstrap's there to try to boot Dante away from this ball. Manages to do just that, but Yeezy and Quez had already rotated back, so their offensive push is going to be slowed down a little bit. Just under a minute remaining, they have the opportunity to get this equalizer goal. Yeezy gets a shot in, but it's saved by Spooky with the follow-up from Quez to maintain the side pressure.
Dante makes a nice save to keep Prospect in the lead. Now he'll get a huge clear. Knight's chasing. Can he redirect the ball? No. Quez does just enough. Spooky sees an opportunity, but commits too soon. Ball gets bounced under him. Jockstrap now dribbling it down. Can't quite get it around Dante, but Yeezy will rip a shot on net. Saved by Knight. Yeezy with the recenter, but Quez wasn't on the same page, and that's a huge opportunity missed for the Barracudas.
We've got 30 seconds remaining. Dante's trying to take this ball down into the net, but a double commit coming out from the Barracudas is going to be enough to redirect it. They get a demolition out on Quez, unfortunately, so they're out to wait for that respawn. We do see the spike down to the midfield with a follow-up from Spooky to manage to keep the ball here on the side of the Barracudas.
seconds left. Easy pops it over one, pops it over a second one. Knight retreating, barely. Gets a hood on it. Oh, Jockstrap just misses, keeping that one alive. And the Prospect Team 2 will advance to this week's Esports Tower Championship, and we'll find out shortly who is going to be joining them. Will it be St. John's Bosco, or will it be the Swerve, who we have seen in recent weeks really improves their play? So the Barracudas bow out, but the Swerve have a chance still to represent the Esports Tower in our championship. Well, you know, Nerdy, you can see, especially from game one, you can only get so far going at it alone. Once Quez and Yeezy realized that they could team up together, the Barracudas nearly pulled that one out. And ultimately, if you want to increase your chances of leveling up, you have to improve your teaming skills. We just saw that with Quez and Yeezy in game two, particularly coming together and trying to claw the Barracudas just back. And they've come so close in these rumbles. The Swerve are another team that have come really, really far in recent rumbles, and Esports Tower really takes time to create teams of well-matched players. So shout out to Coach Jake. If you're watching, you haven't checked out the Esports Tower clubs, you should. It is a fast track to rank up. We'll take a look at the bracket. It will be the Swerve and St. John's Bosco. The Swerve, the lone team from Group B. They were undefeated, but it could not be a harder opponent, as St. John's Bosco, until running into the Prospect Team 2, looked unstoppable. So who will it be? Will it be the Swerve in their first championship? St. John's Bosco going for back-to-back? Find out with semifinal 2 right after this break.
The news says Gen Z is struggling. I've got news for them.
I wait tables, but last week I built a field hospital.
I put out a forest fire.
I stopped 1,000 attackers.
And a natural disaster.
I've saved lives and led a team on patrol.
I serve.
Well, I go to school full time.
While I work full time.
The greater the challenge, the stronger we become.
Welcome back into this Esports Tower Rumble. We're halfway through the semifinals. We've got one more left. It's the Swerve, making, I believe, their first appearance in the semifinals. They've got a new player on the roster. This is a team that for the last few weeks, Nerdy and I have been hyping up. And finally, they're starting to live up to the lofty expectations we set for them. But we'll see if they can pull off the monster upset, because for as much as we believe in them, they do not have an easy road to the championship. They're playing St. John's Bosco. They're a team we've seen once. But the time we saw them in last time's Rumble, they wiped the floor with everybody. Really, the only team that stopped them was themselves, and they maybe tried to get a little bit too cute in one of our games. But this is an incredibly talented team. Something's in the water down there at St. John's Bosco. They seem to be good at every single sport that high school plays, esports now included. So good luck to you, Swerve. You've looked great so far, but this St. John's Bosco team might be on another level.
My only words of advice to the Swerve, and I can't even say if they're words of advice, is I apologize for the amount of pressure that both Fish and I have been putting on you guys these last few weeks. I totally understand that when you hear announcers put that pressure on you as well, it can kind of psych you out a little bit. So I apologize, and just know that you guys are an awesome group of players, and I genuinely look forward to seeing what you can bring to the table against St. John's Bosco. No matter what the outcome is, y'all tried your hardest, and you all have been working super hard to get to this point.
Yeah, we've seen the Swerve steadily improve in our weekly Rumbles. If you are just joining us, how it works, some of the best high school teams in the nation every week will join the Esports Towers Elites teams in a standalone bracket. Start with group play. Usually we have 2 groups of 4 or 3 depending on the week. And then the Rocket League rules are all pretty standard, 5 minutes per game, best of 3, all the way to the finals, which will then transition to a best of 5. Sudden death, overtime, most goals wins, pretty standard there. And we've seen a lot of great play for the Swerve team. I think they've given the Barracuda the run for their money when they've been in the same group. They were the 2-0 undisputed champions of Group B this week, and that is why they got the privilege to play St. John's Bosco, who did lose. They did lose to Prospect Team 2, so that would be quite the finals rematch if they win. But first they got to get through our side of the Swerve, who have some talented players. I know Anthony has won a championship when he was with a high school team. He's now transitioned over to the Esports Tower. We'll see if he's able to keep up the great play there. And we also had a new player who really popped off in our group stage. This is maybe a Swerve team that can pull off the upset.
I'm excited to see what they bring to the table. Also, like their fellow team in the form of the Barracudas lost their opportunity for that triple crown. And so, you know, you got to be like, this is for you guys, even though, you know, it is for yourselves. But just that camaraderie that you can have right there, just bring home that honor against St. John's Bosco right now would be absolutely fantastic and would make your fellow teammates and other squads very happy.
We will kick this one off right away. We see, let's look like St. John's Bosco has maybe made some name changes, as Walrus is going to be the first one to score. Great assist from Graham Champ Guy, and kind of what maybe we expected from St. John's Bosco. Early aerial play and putting themselves in a great position.
I unironically actually love walruses.
They are. I mean, they're
cute, and their scientific name is the pinniped. I did a report on them in 2nd grade.
I don't know if cute and walrus has ever been used in the same sentence before.
I love animals. They're all cute to me.
Well, St. John's Bosco, I mean, it's about as cute as you can get in Rocket League as well. That's 2 goals in 15 seconds, and I think they want that rematch against Prospect Team 2, and Swerve are just kind of an obstacle, unfortunately, in the way.
Sometimes it does feel like that. And I would like to point out here, though, for the side of the Swerve, we've seen Flux once or twice before, and they have been kind of a triple threat type of player, as we do see them managing to get that rebound off the clear there from Fear Classic and keep the pressure up. But Grand Champ's going to manage to finally get that clear, but Dapus will read it perfectly, knocking it down into the corner. There's a strange double commit there also from St. John's Bosco, as we see Walrus try to play it off the ceiling to themselves, but it's just not going to be enough, as it does go to the midfield to Flux.
Flux, the new team on the Swerve, had quite the pop-off in some of the group play games that we watched. He's a guy who can maybe help this team rally back. Same with Anthony. He's a goal-scoring machine that we saw, like we said, win one of our first Rumbles that I was a part of as part of a high school team alongside Dapu. So those 2 talented teammates. Unfortunately, Walrus now has a hat trick, and it's a 3-0 lead for St. John's Bosco.
I hate to ask this question, but I saw something that was like an X and O type of logo pop up on the high right side for something that had been done by one of the members of the side of St. John's Bosco. I'd never seen that before. Maybe it was a tee-off hit? I don't know.
I believe it's the playmaker, which is getting 3 assists. So it's like the hat trick version of assists. His Grand Champ guy has assisted on all 3 of Walrus's goals. I believe it's kind of like the hat trick for assisting.
The playmaker makes sense. It's supposed to look like the X's and O's for football coaches type of like play chart. Now I see it. As we do see Fear Classic get the demo out on Anthony, and Grand Champ gets the pass back from Fear Classic to get a shot on goal, but that crossbar is not going to be Grand Champ's friend.
Minute and a half gone by. St. John's Bosco in total control, but Flux trying to make something happen. Try to get a pass there over to Anthony, who's charging on net. Just couldn't quite get it. Walrus now get a demo on the Grand Champ guy, who is the setup man, the playmaker, if you will. So that will kill the offensive possession. Dapu recenters it for Anthony. Triple commit comes out, but Grand Champ guy makes a save. Flux now with an opportunity. Pops it high above the net. Walrus barely gets a hood on it to be able to push that one away from the net. Now Grand Champ guys got Fear Classic right above the goal. Will end up trying for a rebound there. Walrus though playing a little bit too safe, not able to have a follow-up, and now Dapu's got a chance! Oh, Grand Champ guy, he is excellent defensively as well with another huge save.
We've got Anthony playing off that rebound from the wall, trying to beat Fear Classic to this ball, but Flux is thankfully there, gets a shot on goal. Fear Classic is there too, though, and manages to knock it back down towards the orange side. Anthony will redirect the ball to the midfield, as we do see Walrus pop it over Anthony's hood, but it's just not going to be enough, because Anthony has the ball yet again, playing it in the air over towards the goal, trying to waterfall it down, but it's just a little too much disruption coming out from St. John's Bosco for them to maintain that ball possession.
Defensively, St. John's Bosco almost looks more impressive than they have offensively, as Anthony's going to try and take one more shot. Fear Classic reads the rebound perfectly, hits it out of the way, but a shot from Dapu giving Flux a chance. They hit the crossbar. Anthony spikes it home. And the Swerve are within 2. They've had some decent offensive pressure in the last minute or so.
My only thing that I would like to point out is that for the side of St. John's Bosco, they like to do these really interesting tee-up shots off the sidewall on these kickoffs, so that all that the Swerve has to do is deny that opportunity to get the ball high in the air on the wall for them to do these tee-ups for each other. The Grand Champ guys got to do it themselves, but Anthony reads it perfectly and is managing to get that clear away, but it's not quite far enough, as the side of St. John's Bosco does maintain a lot of possession there for a hot second.
Double demolition on the Grand Champ guy and Anthony off the rebound. A couple of misses from Fear Classic and from Flux, as Dapu's now in a 2-on-1 in that corner, trying to clear it away. Fear Classic gets it near midfield, trying to maybe pass it over to Grand Champ guy. Couldn't quite get it over to him, and Anthony's going to bump him out of the way. Ball still on that orange side as Walrus wanted the center, but a little too fast for Grand Champ guy to react, and Dapu will pinch it all the way down to that blue side and force Fear Classic to make it clear.
We've got Flux elevating to knock the ball back against the wall right there, and Anthony's waiting to see where it gets knocked down by one of the members of St. John's Bosco, but it's going to get popped over their head, unfortunately, allowing Walrus to be there for the follow-up. But Grand Champ's going to get an extra touch and is going to force the ball to go wide right of that net.
Anthony waiting now. He's able to play it around 1, but Grand Champ guy comes slamming into it. 1 minute left here for the Swerve to make a comeback, and Fear Classic's gonna, he played that one a little slow. Flux will make him pay for it by charging right at it. Dapu gets a shot off the crossbar. Flux slow rolling it home, but Walrus makes a save. Flux keeps it alive. Anthony just couldn't play it back into the ball in time. Had a wide open net, and Grand Champ guy is now gonna clear it away. Dapu's gonna be able to make the save, but that felt like the opportunity where the Swerve had to score.
Sometimes it doesn't happen. Too many touches on that ball can be your undoing. Just like in normal soccer, as we do see Grand Champ already rotated back far enough to get the save on that ball, with Fear Classic trying to play it over. Dapu's right here, but it's not enough. Dapu's gets a touch, but Walrus is also going to get a touch on that ball, sending it down to Fear Classic, and they will manage to score their 4th goal with just 12 seconds remaining.
And Walrus will put the dagger in the Swerve. Great play off his own rebound. Nobody home. Swerve, we're just trying to push the pace, and this is the other area where we have seen St. John's Bosco, especially last time Rumble dominated off the kickoff. They have a fantastic set. Finally, Dapu wins that one cleanly. Anthony maybe trying to give his team some hope for game number 2, but Flux just a bit too high on that one, and that will see the final seconds of game 1 tick down. St. John's Bosco will pull out the victory 4-1, but definitely feels like the Swerve have a way back in. They just definitely can't fall behind 3-0 in the first minute and a half.
It's okay to not have the first match go in your favor. Thankfully, this is the semifinals, right? So we've got a best of 5 now?
Best of 3.
Oh, still best of 3. All right, so Swerve, I don't know what you need to do. Drink the orange juice, eat a cookie, drink some water, do a couple jumping jacks, say I love you to your teammates so you all have, like, you know, that warm and fuzzy feeling moment so that, like, the negative emotion is all gone. And just, you know, put the pedal to the floor and give it to St. John's Bosco. I know you're capable of doing it. I'm nothing against St. John's Bosco. I just, you know, I got to hype up the underdogs.
Yeah, I mean, the Swerve, they had a couple opportunities maybe in those final 30 seconds. Looked like they should have tied the game up with just a couple of missed plays there. But really the kickoffs is where, I mean, the St. John's Bosco came alive. I mean, we saw Walrus score in the first 5 seconds. Then we saw him score again about 10 seconds later. And it's a great little set where they get that ball up on the left wall. Grand Champ guy just drives it home, and Walrus is right behind him. So if the Swerve can figure out the kickoffs, maybe they can limit some of the goals. They started to crack that St. John's Bosco defense late in game 1. So it feels doable, but if kickoffs go St. John's Bosco's way, you can wave a chance at the championship goodbye if you're the Swerve.
I hate to say it, but maybe they have to rule 1 these guys in order to get, like, you know, a 2v2 going, so it'd be easier for them to slow down that kickoff pace. I don't know if that's considered BM to force a rule 1, but you just do what you have to do, you know?
I think in my time casting Boise State Rocket League or any Rocket League on this channel, I have seen one Rule 1.
We've seen one
happen
together in Esports Tower.
That's true. So we've seen it's very rare, but yeah, that might be the strategy. Though we have seen St. John's Bosco at times, sometimes, you know, limit themselves to 2 members for whatever reason and still come out on top. So who knows? You may have to do like a double Rule 1 and put yourself in a 1-on-1. As we do see Grand Champ guy has changed mid-game to Turbo now. Do not get confused. It is the same player, I would believe. It's the same car, but now we see him and another member driving into each other. So close to a Rule 1 as Anthony now tries to clear it down, and this is some early pressure here for the Swerve, which is a good thing and a lot better than how game 1 starts.
Yeah, Dofus is showing a lot of their normal pace that they have demonstrated in the past, being, you know, all over the field, putting the pressure on the ball wherever it is at, making sure that his team is there to make shots and be in a defensive position. And if you are just the disruptor and that is how you play, go for it. Be the Shaquille O'Neal for your team and just make it very difficult for St. John's Bosco to get any easy shots in on this goal.
See Anthony who plays it around 1. I don't think he thought Fear Classic was going to steal it away from him. And now Fear Classic will clear it towards midfield. Flux does keep the ball alive for the Swerve. Does Turbo now looking to make a play here. We've seen a lot slower game, so good job by the Swerve. Adapting, Flux's shot goes wide. Walrus just pops it up in the air.
Anthony elevates and manages to get the redirect towards the wall over here, but Turbo will be there to meet them at that ball with Flux. Walrus is going to try to get a touch into the goal, but thankfully Dabus is there for the redirect, and Turbo waterfalls the ball down right in front of the goal.
Anthony trying to clear it away, can't get around Walrus and pass over to Turbo. They tried to give and go, ended up hitting the ball in the wrong direction. And Turbo will have to retreat into the corner. Dapu's going to steal it away. Falls right in front of the net, but there's no follow-up, and Walrus will just simply clear it away. Pass back to Anthony off the crossbar. Can Dapu sneak it in? No, he cannot. Walrus makes the save, and unfortunately the Swerve had a couple of great chances, just couldn't quite finish.
That's okay. We're just a little under that 3-minute mark, and no one has scored a goal yet. That is already signs of improvement here from the Esports Tower Swerve team, as they are managing to maintain a lot of ball possession and just not let the side of St. John's Bosco get easy goals. That's improvement. That's what I like to see. It could be a 1-score game differential here if they keep this up.
Anthony keep that one alive. Fear Classic can't quite clear it away. It's stolen by Anthony. Walrus has a couple teammates down trying to cherry pick a goal. He's going to do it himself, but unfortunately could not quite get the second hit off the crossbar. Now Dapu's got a great opportunity. He's got Anthony near midfield, but Turbo steals that one away, and it feels like St. John's Bosco, when that game speeds up, have a clear advantage.
I think I know why Grand Champ Guy changed their name to Turbo, because they are constantly just going zoom all over the place, and it's a very more fitting name than Grand Champ Guy, even if that is your title.
Once the Swerve maybe tried to play at the speed of St. John's Bosco, we've seen things come apart, but it's still a 0-0 game. Anthony maybe trying to play a rebound, but Walrus will clear it down. Fear Classic's just going to hit Anthony out of the way, and Flux will be forced to make a defensive play there. Passes it over to Dapu, hits off the back of Walrus. Dapu still in control, has a great chance. Flux, saved by Fear Classic, but Anthony can keep it alive. Turbo's going to look for a clear, loses possession of the ball, but Walrus will launch it down into the corner, and another chance missed for the Swerve.
We do see that Doblus was there and managed to pop the ball over a couple members of St. John's Bosco, and Anthony's now going to take it up the wall, trying to play it past Walrus, but it's going to drop right on top of them, unfortunately, allowing Turbo to take the ball into the corner, trying to play it off that back wall. Doblus will elevate, but Fear Classic will be there to bounce the ball away from them. They have an opportunity to get a shot in on goal, but we do see Doblus managing to steal the ball away. Walrus tries to play it here off the corner, but two members of the Swerve are waiting in the goal for that redirect into the corner.
Turbo's going to get a demolition onto Dapus. Turbo ends up stopping Fear Classic's dribble. 1 minute left. You have to think the first team to score in regulation might come out on top as Turbo back clears to Fear Classic, and then Fear Classic's able to hit it off his own rebound, barely missing the Swerve's goal from midfield. Dapus now trying to carry it over Walrus, not able to do it. Walrus centers it for Turbo. Gets popped up in the air. Turbo trying to clear it down for his team, not able to find it. Fear Classic, though, will put it in front of the net. Walrus, great opportunity. Huge save, and there's 30 seconds.
We've got Flux taking the ball up the side right now, calculating their risk, seeing what they can do, but we have Turbo elevating all the way to the ceiling to get that ball knocked down into the corner. Anthony calculates it perfectly, though, and manages to disrupt the ball just enough so that there's no easy shot on that goal. The follow-up from Walrus will be also disrupted by Flux once again as Anthony manages to get the ball to the mid.
10 seconds left. Fear Classic sets it up perfectly, but the ball barely redirected. Flux can't find the clear. Turbo's going to maybe have one last shot. Gets hit out of the way by his own teammate. Here comes Turbo and Anthony. Anthony clears it away. Can Flux redirect it on the net? That's not the way you want to hit it. Anthony keeps it alive, though. Dapu's got a wide open net, but Fear Classic makes a huge save. And we're heading to overtime.
All right, Swerve, you know that this is how St. John's Bosco likes to get those goals, and Dapus wins the 50-50 to bring it down into the corner. It's going to be knocked away, however, all the way into Walrus's tires. The elevation coming out from Anthony is going to be just enough to prevent the goal. There's two members on the side of St. John's down there, forcing them to quickly rotate back as Dapus gets a shot on goal, but Walrus will be there for that save.
Walrus will pass over to Turbo. He'll put it right in front of the net. Here comes Fear Classic. Oh, just barely bumped out of the way by Flux. The new addition to the Swerve coming in clutch. Now Dapu's trying to center it up. Not able to find it. Walrus clears it away. He's going to race Flux to the ball, but Anthony gets there first. Bad hit, though. Right in front of the net. Huge save by Flux once again. And Dapu's going to clear it down. He's got a wide open net. He's got Flux right in front. Pops it up in the air, and Turbo's just going to clear that one away.
We've got Flux trying to rotate back right now. We also see Dapus managing to get possession with the aerial play, playing it off that back wall. There isn't enough follow-up from his team, however, as they're playing a little defensively. We do see Flux manage to steal the ball away from Fear Classic, and then we have them trying to play it over Walrus. However, Walrus will take it down here into the corner, forcing Dapus to then knock it back. There's another shot on goal with a redirect coming out from Anthony. Anthony's now a little bit boost-starved right now. It's going to be a little bit risky right now for the Swerve.
Yeah, you see the Swerve starting to run out of boost here as Dapu does get the full one in the corner to recharge. And Anthony might have a chance to clear it away. Turbo will challenge him. The ball will just get launched all the way over to Fear Classic on the other side. Flux looking for a clear. Walrus camping that midfield line. This could be a win for St. John's Bosco if they can just starve the boost out. Two members of the Swerve sitting on empty fumes right now. Finally, Dapu gets a clear, and he's going to be able to recharge. Walrus will clear it back, but they needed that time. And now Anthony in a one-on-one versus Fear Classic. Fear Classic will get the save here and just clear it away.
We've got Turbo trying to snipe the ball down into the net, but Dapu's read it perfectly, managing to get the ball almost all the way to the midfield. However, Turbo is going to turn it back, forcing Anthony to play it off the wall in front of their own net. Always a risky play, but the save from Dapu's is going to be spot on as they play it off the wall, elevating over into almost an open goal, but Turbo will manage to just barely knock it away.
Classic pops it up in the air towards midfield. Anthony will launch it back to the blue side, and Walrus will just volleyball it over to the orange side now, and he's going to get his own follow-up, but Dapu's going to miss on it. So will Walrus. Dapu ends up with it, tees it up perfectly for Fear Classic. Turbo tries to redirect it off the crossbar. Dapu's going to clear it away. Fear Classic will keep it alive for now, just barely dunking it over Flux, looking to play it around Anthony. Can't quite do it. Turbo ends up with possession. And Dafu's able to get the clear. Demolition does come on to Anthony, but he'll respawn as the ball gets cleared to the other side.
Walrus is taking the ball up the wall right now, trying to play it past two members of the Swerve into the corner. We do have Anthony managing to get the ball away from the side of St. John's Bosco, but Fear Classic's there for the follow. Dafus pops it over Fear Classic. Turbo's there at the mid to elevate and spike the ball into the air. Dafus is going to try and play it off the corner here. We do see Walrus try to get a touch in for that shot on goal, but they're just barely going to miss it. Fear Classic is trying to corral the ball into the corner. It gets spiked high above the goal with the follow-up from Walrus. Finally, 3 minutes into overtime, and the golden goal is finally scored by St. John's Bosco.
Yeah, you see, unfortunately, looks like Flux was the only man there. Just couldn't quite get the elevation. From the back of the net, Walrus in a nail-biter game gets St. John's Bosco the win. St. John's Bosco will advance and look to make it back-to-back championships, but they're going to have to get some revenge on Prospect Team 2, who's just been sitting and waiting. And St. John's Bosco and the Swerve took 3 minutes into overtime, and the Swerve gave everything they could. Feels like they had just as many chances, if not more, than St. John's Bosco. But this Swerve team is definitely somebody, as we keep getting more and more rumbles, that you're going to want to watch out for. Well, if you want to be seen by expert college recruiters, talk directly to esports industry insiders like pro athletes, team general managers, and game producers, then join the club. Esports Tower players get insiders access to the industry's insights. And with our featured rumbles, recruiters are starting to take notice too. It's a great way to score exposure if you're looking to start your path to pro or even land a collegiate scholarship. If you want to learn more, go to esportstower.com for more information. We are on to the championship in this week's Rumble. St. John's Bosco's going for the repeat. Prospect Team 2 stands in their way. They're the only team we've ever seen take down St. John's Bosco. And this is going to be a killer series. We go to best of 5 now, Nerdy, and this could easily go all 5 games. Or, at least from what we saw in the semifinals, Prospect Team 2 might just blow them out of the water.
I feel like just because of the way that last match went against the Swerve and St. John's Bosco, I feel like, yes, we're probably going to see a 5-game series, but on top of that, I feel like we're going to see a lot of overtime in almost every single one of these matches, most likely. And therefore, I foresee both you and I being gassed by the end of this, not just the players. And I genuinely feel like St. John's Bosco might be hitting their mental limit for fortitude here with how long that extra overtime went. That is an insane amount of anxiety-inducing type of situation. It puts a lot of pressure on you to, perform better than you were just performing. And that elevated level of gameplay can make you just hit that bottom trough point of your energy very fast. So we got to hope that St. John's Bosco, gets that water, gets maybe some respawn in them, and manages to keep their energy levels up. Otherwise, Prospect Team 2 might come back with the second victory on top of them.
Yeah, big shout out to both the Esports Tower teams. They made Game 2 a struggle for both Prospect Team and St. John's Bosco, and I thought they might be stops. But it's Prospect Team 2, it's St. John's Bosco. Are we getting a new champ or a back-to-back winner? Find out after the break.
news says Gen Z is struggling. I've got news for them.
I wait tables, but last week I built a field hospital.
I put out a forest fire.
I stopped 1,000 attackers.
And a natural disaster.
I've saved lives and led a team on patrol.
I serve.
Well, I go to school full time.
While I work full time.
The greater the challenge, the stronger we become.
Welcome back to the Esports Tower Rumble. We are about to wrap things up. It's our championship game between St. John's Bosco and Prospect Team number 2 here. Move to a best of 5. One of these teams will go home as the champ. St. John's Bosco's looking to make it back-to-back. The only team that stood in their way and the only team that has beaten them so far in the Esports Tower has been Prospect Team number 2. Spooky, Knight, and Dante absolutely popping off so far. They have yet to lose, and we'll see, Nerdy, who is going to win out in what should be a very, very fast-paced, high-octane, and long final series here of the night.
I am not going to make any predictions because I don't want to cast or curse either team. I just hope that St. John's Bosco is not completely exhausted after that insanely long overtime from their last match.
Yeah, the swerve gave St. John's Bosco everything they could handle in game number 2, but it was Walrus who came away with the game-winning goal, and Walrus actually scored all 5 goals in the semifinals for St. John's Bosco. So if Prospect Team 2 can shut them down, maybe they stand a good chance. The Esports Tower Rumbles work as such every week. Some of the best high school teams in the country join the Esports Towers Elites teams in a standalone bracket. You see the brackets there. You see our semifinals, and now we're on to our finals where we look to crown this week's Rumble champion. It is Prospect Team 2 who beat the Barracudas. They were 3-0 in Group A. That has featured some of the toughest teams we've seen in the Esports Tower Rumble with St. John's Bosco, the Barracudas, and even Prospect Team 1. And then we see St. John's Bosco, who is in that same group. Their only loss was to Prospect Team 2 in the group play. We'll see if they can get revenge and if they can come out as back-to-back champs here and really maybe make a name for themselves as the team to beat in upcoming Rumbles.
Of course, I like the idea of a team getting, the double crown, saying that they got back-to-back championships, but this Prospect team, for being a newly formed team, at least as far as we're aware, even disregarding possible name changes, I would love to see them come out on top as well.
Don't forget, before we jump in, we got to get to Doc's keys to the game. Play the shot and the rebound, disrupt the pathing of attackers, defend and attack boost. I mean, that's how the St. John's Bosco side ended up winning in overtime. They just boost-starved the side of the swerve and then rotate to the back post quickly, especially against Prospect Team 2. Knight has so many good shots in his repertoire. You've got to make sure you are active defending. It's all brought to you by the Esports Tower. Score pro advice at esportstower.com. Improve your game sense, improve your team play, and improve your performance under pressure. You can match with great players and professional coaches to help you rank up. We got a little bit of a teaser there. We're ready to hop in. It's game number 1 of potentially 5 of at least 3. St. John's Bosco, it's Prospect Team number 2, and we're ready to go to crown this week's champion.
I kind of hope we get to see that leaderboard screen again because I was looking at the titles. I did see one that looked like Season 2 Grand Champion for the side of Prospect Team 2, which would make sense considering how well they're playing.
We have seen some very talented players. So you would think Turbo, who at one point went by the name Grand Champ guy, maybe would have to be in that Grand Champ category as well. As Dante is going to immediately clear it down. Walrus makes a huge mistake, and Knight just slams it home, and the Prospect team scores first.
They did win that 50-50 off the kickoff, which has been the notorious opportunity for the side of St. John's Bosco to get those early goals and get the early lead out in the beginning is by winning that kickoff goal. Well, kickoff also by Prospect ensuring that that can't happen. They're putting themselves in a better position here as we do see that Dante manages to get control from that 50-50. However, it's going to get cleared away into the midfield here over to Turbo, but Knight has already rotated back, as has Dante, and they're both ready to be here for the clear. It gets shot dead in the water, though, and the follow-up from Fear Classic brings us to a 1-1 game.
This is an excellent first save. Really great play by Turbo as well. Dante makes a great first save, but a great job just kind of crashing the net. Triple commit there from St. John's Bosco. One of the times it will work out when you just kind of send everybody at that net when that ball's just sitting there. And tied at 1. Spooky right off the kickoff, going to take a shot. Dante gets a huge demo, which opens things up. It forces a double commit. And that was almost a great pass to give Prospect Team the lead. Spooky will keep it alive, putting it over to the blue side. Turbo's just going to hit it away from him. You see Dante charging in, just barely beat to the ball by Fear Classic.
We've got Knight elevating to clear the ball back over towards the blue side, as does Walrus elevate. Spooky will do it as well. However, Spooky will just barely miss that ball, forcing Knight to rotate back into the corner, as will Dante. And as we see a double kind of commit from both sides happening here over by the corner, 2 members of the side of Prospect will elevate to clear that ball away, forcing a kind of weird stall out there into the air. Fear Classic's going to take it up the side. Can't quite get a clean shot in on the goal. They try to clear to one of their teammates. Turbo just unfortunately goes a little too far over the ball.
Walrus going to try and clear it, but he kind of loses the dribble off that wall there. It's going to allow a challenge. Knight now steals it away from Fear Classic. Walrus pops it up in the air. Very scary spot, but it ends up working out as Turbo will bail him out. He'll clear it over a pair of members from the Prospect Team and set it up for a goal himself. I don't think Prospect Team was ready for Turbo to make that play.
Their name is Turbo for a reason. It's because they will use all of their boost to just hammer that ball into the goal repetitively.
You saw him from Dante's perspective, just kind of came out of nowhere, and that gives St. John's Bosco the 2-1 lead off the kickoff, tie it up in the mid. Eventually, Fear Classic's able to hit it over to that orange side, but Spooky will just launch it all the way back down to the corner. Rebound attempt there for Dante, not able to find it. Walrus will clear it right back. Turbo charging in. This time Dante's ready for it. Clears it away. Someone with commit does come out. Ball still on that blue side. Knight's going to take a shot. And Knight's going to sneak it home, and we've got a 2-2 game.
That is, I feel like this is probably the most equally matched team we've seen go up against St. John's Bosco. Like I said, I feel like it was a sneaky, spring break cover for the fact that they wanted to put together their ultimate team to take down St. John's.
And this is the only team that beat them. They beat them in the group stage. And right now we're tied at 2. 2 minutes gone by. Dante, nice demolition there on Turbo. That's allowed Dante towards midfield to pop it up. Walrus steals it away. Spooky clears it back. Great pass over to Knight, except they end up colliding. So a bit of a mistake there by Prospect. Now finally Dante will just launch it into the corner. Turbo will misplay it. Walrus barely hits it along the wall. Dante with a nice challenge, looking to waterfall in front of the net, but Turbo reads that one and is able to clear it away with ease.
Fear Classic spiked the ball high, but Dante read that one perfectly and elevates to spike the ball back down. Walrus gets that rebound off the ground, however, and Knight is waiting to try and play it off the wall. We do see Spooky elevate for that save on the goal. Turbo, however, is there for the follow-up and gets the 3rd goal for the side of St. John's Bosco.
It's a great goal there. You see, commit one guy to make the save. Turbo's going to bang it home, and unfortunately, Dante just barely got a touch on it, but wasn't quite quick enough. And St. John's Bosco back in the lead, but would not be shocked if this game does get tied up again. As Fear Classic off the kickoff is going to collide with Spooky. Ball still bouncing towards midfield. Dante will eventually hit it over to the blue side, but Walrus is ready right off a shot from Turbo. That's a hat trick for him, and we talked about how deadly St. John's Bosco is on the kickoff, and it shows once again.
Yeah, you have to win those 50-50s to give you just not even so much of an equal opportunity to snag that goal, but more like to just kind of decrease St. John's Bosco's score, like the percentage of them scoring by about 10%. So we do see an early demo come out off kickoff, and it's gonna allow that ball to just kind of snail pace itself into the goal right there from Walrus.
Yeah, Knight, I think, was trying to go for some kind of cheeky little side hit to maybe try and steal it away, and just absolutely whiffed on the ball. And then plus that demo you mentioned just meant it was an easy path. This time Knight will drive straight at it, and it's Turbo who will suffer the demolition this time. With 2 minutes left in the game, a 3-goal deficit for Prospect Team 2 as Knight going to clear it down. He's got one man to beat, and Turbo just takes a shot wide, and Turbo's able to make the save, and then Knight ends up in the worst position possible, saving what would have most likely been an easy goal away from his own team.
We do see the demolition coming out from Spooky. However, Knight's just going to go elevating after this ball, trying to get it off the back wall. Unfortunately, will barely miss it. We see Spooky try to play it into the corner back to Knight or Dante. It's just not enough. We see Turbo trying to take the ball up the midfield. It's going to be taken away by Dante, forcing both Walrus and Fear Classic to rotate back. Knight will try to play the ball off the ceiling, spiking it down to their own teammate. We do see Spooky manage to get a touch onto it, and Dante's now taking it over here into the corner. However, it's going to get cleared away by one of the members of St. John's Bosco.
Fear Classic barely misses a touch on it. They would have made it a 6-2 game. Walrus' shot turned away, and Turbo's not able to waterfall it down and put his team in a good position. Fear Classic, though, wins it near the midfield line, hits it back on net. Walrus plays the rebound, and that one's turned away by Dante. With a minute left, Prospect team needs to be taking shots on goal, not making great saves as Walrus takes another one. Knight finally clears it away. He's got Spooky. Ball just not quite close enough, though, to save for Fear Classic.
Spooky and Knight just did not have enough momentum right there, but they are maintaining side control here, keeping it onto the side of St. John's Bosco. It does finally get cleared up to the midfield with Turbo elevating to try and hit the ball, but it's not really needed with that minor touch being just enough to make sure it goes in, and that is the 6th goal for the side of St. John's Bosco.
Turbo just barely redirects it. Prospect team 2 all committing offensively to try and tie this game up, so they'll have to spend the next 35 seconds just strategizing what they want to do. It's Turbo's time to absolutely pop off with the medals overflowing on the screen. And a huge reason why St. John's Bosco not only came back in this game, but also built this huge lead. 20 seconds left. Turbo once again will just clear it away from Dante, and that will end probably any chances the Prospect team do have.
That's okay. This is a best of 5, and this is just match 1. They can come back. They just have to use the next 69 seconds to their advantage and make sure that they don't boom themselves mentally. But Prospect Team 2, I am talking to you. Spooky, you are showing signs of life right here. You have the ball hits the ground.
Yeah, ball hits the ground. Would have been a nice little goal there to at least make the scoreline a little bit closer, but St. John's Bosco, they struggled with Prospect team for about the first 2.5 minutes, and then they absolutely came alive and win that first game 6-2. We don't know exactly how the group play match went between these two teams, but we do know Prospect team 2 won, so they have it in them to take down St. John's Bosco, but unfortunately, those last 2.5 minutes, St. John's Bosco feel like they shifted into a different gear.
Turbo's just like cargo the entire time. That's all they do. I can't argue that their name is very fitting now for the style that they play. However, Knight and Spooky have both demonstrated they are fantastic goal-scoring players. They play off of each other well. They had multiple opportunities and great shots on goal. However, there was just, times where they took a shot and there was all 3 members of the side of St. John's down there waiting for it. They just need to make those more advantageous kind of mental game moves to try and pull the members of St. John's Bosco out of that defensive position, make them feel like they have that offensive advantage, and take the ball away from them and slam it into the net. I know that this Prospect team's capable of doing it. I just hope that they can manage it in this next match. Yeah, they like I said, we saw in that first 2 minutes, they did a great job of kind of setting the pace, and then St. John's Bosco just reached a different level, especially Turbo, who really opened up the scoring when he outplayed 2 members of the Prospect team, and I just don't think they were expecting him to go charging past. Well, game 2 is going to kick off right now. Walrus is going to win that kickoff cleanly. Turbo nearly thought he had possession, but Spooky, knowing their tendencies, able to clear it away. Spooky will get demoed, though, by Fear Classic, but Knight able to score that one and give him the early lead. It's the fake-out mental game. They feel like they had the advantage of that demolition coming out from Fear Classic. They even completely almost stopped there in the corner, thinking that the offensive push had ended right there, but the follow-up from Knight, as they did previously, was enough to score that goal. We just have to for the side of the Prospects, they just need to make sure they have that follow-up ready.
Knight nearly has another opportunity. Just goes wide of the net. Fear Classic is cleared away. Spooky's not able to make a play. Now Turbo in a one-on-one. Able to not quite play it around Dante. Walrus is shot a little bit too wide, and Knight, who was trailing the whole time, clears it down over to Dante. Turbo, though, will just volleyball it all the way back to the orange side.
We've got Spooky trying to beat Fear Classic away from this ball right now with a follow-up from Knight onto Walrus will result in Knight's demolition as Turbo spikes the ball high into the air over to Fear Classic. We do see Spooky try to elevate to steal the ball away. It's going to drop down, leaving Knight the opportunity to get a shot on goal, but it's just not enough. We see a demolition come out onto Dante once again as Turbo takes the ball down into the corner.
Turbo plays around a couple of numbers, but Knight's able to make a great save. Fear Classic trying to keep it alive. He's not quite able to. Turbo just barely on the blue side, hits it back, gets it around Knight to himself.
That's
a
okay.
wide open goal, and it's tied at 1.
That's okay. We've got 3 minutes and like 33 or 34 seconds remaining. It's a 0-0 game. No one has a goal anymore. It don't matter.
Great solo play by Turbo, playing into it himself. But yeah, as you said, it's tied up. 4 minutes on the clock. Got to play like it's 0-0 once again. Ooh, Fear Classic. I don't know where
Spooky, the fake
going
outs.
on that kickoff. Looks like Fear Classic was maybe going for a demo or something and changes route. Here comes Turbo, though. His teammate ends up stealing it away. Ball probably would have hit the ground. Walrus, barely misses, just pushing that one in. And Dante looks for a clear. Fear Classic will just retreat.
We've got Dante taking the ball up the side, but Turbo putting some pressure on them. They kind of swerve around the ball a few too many times. Don't manage to get a nice clear onto it. It goes down into the corners. Both Turbo and Walrus miss the ball. We have Dante elevating with it, trying to keep it away from Fear Classic. However, Fear will get that touch to spike the ball down onto the ground. So Spooky's going to be there to challenge Fear to try and get the ball away with a follow-up from Dante. However, there's a shot on goal. It does get cleared away by Spooky, thankfully. However, Turbo will get that final touch to bring us to a 2-1 game.
This is just something we've talked about time and time again. Rumble, Boise State, if you can just keep generating shots on goal, eventually somebody's going to get out of position. Somebody's going to overcommit, and that time Turbo had a wide open net, and his absolute reign of terror in these finals will continue. He's got both goals so far. St. John's Bosco. He will get demoed off screen by Dante, but he will respawn right on the right side of the ball. And now Knight with an opportunity. Tries to play it around Turbo.
Yes!
And Turbo may be a bit flat-footed. Is end up going to just let that ball roll in. So it's an own goal, but Knight gets credit.
I think Knight, for the side of Team Prospects 2, has the most goals so far, right? They scored all 5 in the last game, and I believe. I don't remember.
They
But
definitely scored a lot. I know
yes.
Walrus scored all 5 for his team. We know Prospect Team 2 put up 7 in Game 1 against the Barracudas, and Knight was a big reason why. He's definitely been leading contention in Prospect Team 2 wins for the ICCU Player of the Week. Right now, he's got to find a way to get his team back in it. Spooky's going to clear it down into the corner. Just barely plays it around Turbo. Fear Classic pushes it out of the way. Knight, one hit, second hit right in front of the net. Fear Classic's going to find the clear.
We do have Dante trying to chase this ball down, as is Spooky. Dante will play it off the wall, spiking the ball down. Spooky rotating back towards that back post to make sure that goal is not left open. As we get a clear shot over towards the goal, Dante will manage to redirect it back towards the midfield. Fear Class is going to try to beat them to the ball. Neither one commit to it completely, and both miss as Walrus gets the opportunity to take it upfield, but Knight will steal the ball away from them. It rolls towards the net. They just barely missed that ball, and it gets redirected by Fear Classic.
Couple of misplays from both teams there, keep us in a 2-2 game. This one a little bit longer than Game 1, and Turbo looking to open the scoring. Forces a huge save from Dante. Both people end up running into each other, but Prospect Team 2 is able to get the clear. Dante can't quite redirect it though. Fear Classic barely hits it away. Knight has to be careful. Walrus going to challenge him. Looks like they kind of deked that one out, forcing Knight to maybe make a misplay. He does. Turbo steals it away. Ball in front of the net. Fear Classic! First goal that we've seen all series for him in the Rumble, and it couldn't come at a bigger time.
We've got 93 seconds left, and it is a 3-2 game, so I feel as though Team Prospects has the opportunity to tie us up here. They just have to make sure they don't play into St. John's Bosco's classic misdirection that they like to go for. The 50-50 goes in favor of St. John's. Turbo takes it up the side with a double commit coming out from the Prospects. As one of their players is waiting in the goal, we see Dante manage to get the ball cleared over towards midfield with a follow-up from Knight, and that's going to be the equalizer with a little over a minute remaining.
Yeah, Turbo had Walrus wide open for what could have been the insurance goal, but couldn't quite find him. Fear Classic was demoed, and we saw him respawn right in that highlight, and just like that, Knight picks up his hat trick, and it couldn't come at a bigger time as we tie this game all at 3 here with just over a minute left. Fear Classic, nice pinch off the wall.
There it is!
Oh, we are tied up in a Rule 1. It's Fear Classic and Spooky. Not allowed to break it unless a teammate comes over and interferes if you're new to Rocket League. Looks like Walrus might be doing just that. Turbo's left in a one-on-one. Makes a huge save. Can he make another one? No! Knight puts it in for his 4th goal, and you have to wonder if it was the right call to send Walrus over there to break up that Rule 1.
I don't think it was. I totally understand that Turbo is great in those 1v1 situations, but it was a 1v2 when Walrus left to go help out their teammate.
1 minute left. We'll see. Oh, St. John's Bosco, great kickoff win. Walrus Can't quite stop Dante from getting a touch on it. The ball's still in the corner. Knight will clear it down towards midfield. Fear Classic's going to take a shot. Turbo waiting for the rebound. Fear Classic barely gets a touch on it. Spooky reads it perfectly. Walrus' shot turned away by Knight, but the pressure's still on. Fear Classic right in front of the net. Spooky's going to clear it down. Knight puts
my
it in.
gosh, they were cherry picking, waiting for that clear.
Risky. That's a risky play if that doesn't work out.
It's risky, but that comes down to when you just in the comms you hear the just trust me, and you do. That's so important to have faith in your teammates to get those opportunities for them to fulfill their jobs. You just gotta really it comes down to understanding that your team is capable of doing everything they say they are.
30 seconds here for St. John's Bosco to get 2 goals. Not unthinkable, but definitely going to be difficult. Knight with 5 goals, all 5 of them. It's almost like you saw into the future, Nerdy, when you mentioned that earlier. Walrus tries to keep it alive here. You probably got to score in the next 8 seconds or so if you're St. John's Bosco. This is not the way you want the ball to go as Dante gets a shot.
No
Knight's going to
way.
get his 6th, and that's going to be a game, set, match. We're heading to game 3, series tied at 1.
I can't believe that one. Turbo was just barely missed it by a hair. Just a little too much overcommittion to one side on that ball, getting a little bit of the mind games happening as we go into the kickoff. Walrus will manage to get more of the possession, sending it to Turbo. With the clock ticking down, though, it is just a matter of that ball hitting the ground for this round to end, even if they manage to score that goal. And it's going to drop in front of the blue goal right before they manage to score that 8th goal.
Yeah, Prospect Team 2 coming alive. Both these teams have had their pop-off moments, so we'll now have a best-of-3 series here in our Esports Tower Rumble Final. It's technically Game 3 with the series tied at 1. We'll see who can get the edge in Game 3 and put themselves on match point, but these are 2 very, very evenly matched teams. Turbo had his moment in the sun. Now Knight popped off, so really you got to look at the other 4 members. Spooky, Dante, and we look at Fear Classic and Walrus. One of those needs to match what their other teammates are doing to make their team the winner in this week's Rumble.
I do not know what happened with Spooky and Knight. They had some fantastic plays that came together there in that last round. I won't lie, seeing that Rule 1 come out to force the 2v1 that ended up bringing them kind of into the lead, and I think it might have, reset the mentals for their side of the game. Well, at least their side, and for St. John's, it might have boomed them a little bit because they weren't anticipating that happening. I know it's sneaky. I know it's not exactly something everybody wants to see, but that type of calculated risk to take is so insane, and I love to see it.
Yeah, it was a great play there. You could see in the replay of the goal where it looked like Walrus kind of left, ended up having to come back because Turbo wasn't able to win the 1-on-2, and it was a great play there by Prospect Team 2, put together by some excellent players, some of which we really haven't seen. Not seen Knight or Dante before, and they are making their names known. Knight probably the leader in the clubhouse right now for our ICCU Player of the Week, but these next 2 or 3 games could totally change that as we kick off Game 3. Fear Classic's going to hit it on net. Fear Classic tries to put it in, can't quite find it. Now Dante's going to be able to clear it away. He's got Knight near midfield. Knight gets demoed on the pass, and Walrus is going to try and clear it down, but Spooky reads that one perfectly.
Fear Classic's going to be there for the response, taking it down into the corner, trying to play it to themselves, but they stall out a little bit as Knight swoops in to try and get the clear. They do it, however, Turbo's there for the redirect, as is Dante trying to play it off the wall to themselves. Doesn't matter, though, as one of their teammates is already there in the form of Spooky, as is Knight. As they play it off the wall, we see Walrus elevate for that redirect towards the mid. Spooky will clear it down into the corner, though.
Dante clears it towards midfield. He's got Knight there. Shot's just a little bit too fast, though. It'll set up a pass. Knight will recenter it. Turbo can't clear it away. Great dunk by Spooky. Setting it up off the waterfall. And Spooky gets the first goal of our game number 3. Puts Prospect Team up 1.
Also, I agree that, Knight's in the running for that player of the game. Spooky, I'm going to say, took that risk, did the Rule 1, has made some fantastic saves and shots. They're already my vote for the match, for the player of the match.
As much as team players want the player of the match, I'm sure that championship makes it all the bit sweeter. Prospect Team's got to finish this one. Spooky nearly gets a 2nd goal. Would have been huge, but a great save by Fear Classic. Walrus now near the midfield stripe. Knight will challenge him. Fear Classic and Knight both elevate for it. Neither one clearly wins out on it, but Dante will roll it around in the corner. Fear Classic, ooh, that ball's pinball, and so are players. As Walrus gets credited for the save. He tries to challenge Dante, whiffs on it. One man to beat. Fear Classic's got to make a huge save, and he does. Near disaster for St. John's Bosco is they're looking for a clear. Walrus gets one. Fear Classic hits it towards midfield. Dante trying to clear it back. Fear Classic, one man to beat. Oh, huge save by Knight, but Walrus was there. He'll take advantage.
I'm not going to lie, like 15 seconds earlier on the other side of the field, I saw one of the worst things you never want to see when you're on the defensive side, and that is all three members on the offense are closer to the goal than your own teammates, and they are in cherry-picking positions. Granted, it was risky and maybe a little bit of miscalculation from the prospects, but hopefully St. John's does not let that easy of an opportunity come to the side of the prospects again.
Classic looking for the ball. Walrus will hit it off the wall. Knight Reese shoots it, but unfortunately not quite in range of the goal. Now Turbo's going to clear it down. Walrus still trying to bounce it around. Ooh, Turbo plays it around one. Spooky will just jab at it and clear it away. Near midfield, Fear Classic takes a shot. Knight makes a save, but they double committed on the ball. Walrus only misses because of the crossbar, and Turbo follows it up this time, and unfortunately just a bad double commit from a couple members of the prospect team left a wide open net.
It happens. Turbo, though, had a very clean shot. I can't argue that that was one that was not deserved. They kind of had a little bit of a fight with the crossbar previously. So it's good to see them get that goal in. As we see the 50-50 go in favor of Fear Classic as they just get a clean knock on the ball towards the goal. However, Dante's going to get the ball dribbling up to the mid, elevating it, trying to get it past Turbo. Turbo will redirect it towards the wall, but the follow-up from Knight will force it down into the corner. And now we see a shot on goal from Spooky, but it gets redirected by Walrus.
Nice shot right above the net. Fear Classic barely hits it out of the way. Ball was looking for a clear. Can't quite get it around Dante, though. Now it's Fear Classic's turn, but he can't get it over Spooky, and Walrus will finally just blast that ball to the orange side. Dante trying to volleyball it back. Can't quite hit it strong enough, and the ball will be pitched near that midfield all the way down to the blue goal. Fear Classic's going to overdrive it, and Walrus will find a clear. One more man to beat, but Spooky keeps it alive. Dante's charging in. Pass from Knight. A little bit too fast.
We do see the side of the prospects trying to rotate back, maintain possession while they are not getting the side control they want to see. The ball gets spiked high. Turbo will elevate, playing it off that back wall to themselves and popping it in for that third. That was,
wow.
If there's style points in this game, that one deserves style points.
Yeah, that was totally impressive. That was complete command and knowing exactly what you wanted to do. Because that shot looked a little wide, but he put it in the perfect position for himself. And Turbo giving St. John's Bosco a 3-1 lead in game 3, but Knight, nearly had him back within one, turned away. Turbo and Spooky gonna collide. It's a 1-on-2 here, one man to beat. Fear Classic pops it in the air. Dante makes a save. Walrus trying to just get it in front of the net, but it's too hard for Turbo to find the rebound. And now they've got to be careful. They've got Spooky down in cherry picking land, but unfortunately, he's gonna not be able to find the ball.
Spooky goes after it, but there's a couple pinball moves happening on both sides right now as we do see Turbo elevate with the ball at the midfield, waterfalling it down right in front of Spooky. However, all three members of the side of St. John's are here at the goal. Knight comes swooping in to try and spike the ball into the net. Spooky with the follow-up is going to play it off that back wall. Turbo finally will get that clear, but Knight's going to spike it high in the air, allowing Spooky to get the redirect down in front of the goal. Dante tries to spike it down, but just gets redirected slightly by the members of St. John's.
Knight steals that one away from Turbo. Minute left. 2 goals in a minute. Not unheard of. But Walrus will keep that one away from Dante. Turbo will rattle it around in the corner. Dunk it right over Knight, but the rest of St. John's Bosco playing a bit more defensive has already retreated. Knight takes a shot. Fear Classic reads that one perfectly. Off the top of the wall, plays it around him. Now has an opportunity. Dante, last man to beat, makes a great save. Fear Classic wants to pass it to a teammate, and Walrus just over pursuit.
We've got Turbo trying to snag this ball away at the midfield. We see Spooky elevate and barely miss that ball. Walrus will redirect it, however, back towards the orange goal, play it off the wall to themselves. We see Dante trying to get some level of control on it, but Turbo manages to ultimately get it knocked down towards Fear Classic.
Fear Classic, a pass to Walrus. They collide in midair. Unfortunately for Prospect Team, they're just running out of time. They can get a goal now, which that's a great demolition. Spooky!
Yes, Spooky!
It's gonna take a bit of a miracle, but 3 seconds on a kickoff keeps their hopes alive to force overtime. Huge demolition by Dante to open that up. And it all comes down to our kickoff here in the final 3 seconds of game 3.
St. John Bosco has notoriously won off these kickoffs. However, it goes in favor of the prospect. Spooky manages to get the ball spiked into the air. Dante's looking for the follow-up, but it just barely touches the ground. And now we see St. John Bosco with that 2-game lead to 1, leading us into our 4th match of the evening.
Yeah, that one very close. St. John's Bosco started to pull away, but they gave themselves a chance, as the prospect team did, and that's all you can ask for. But trying to get a goal if you don't win the kickoff in the final 3 seconds can be difficult. So we will head to game number 4, as Nerdy said. It is St. John's Bosco on match point. And we'll see if prospect team 2 can march back. They did in game 2 with a statement victory. They got to do it again here, and now the pressure's on them, because if they lose, St. John's Bosco is our back-to-back champs.
I mean, I have no qualms with either team winning. I just gotta root for the underdogs, which is in this case Team Prospect, because they're brand new, at least as a team, into this tournament. So nothing against you, St. John Bosco. It's just I would love to see Spooky, Knight, and Dante have their opportunity to wear that crown at least once.
Yeah, I would have to expect that at some point those 3 would be back for a future Rumble, whether it's under Prospect Team 2 or a different name, because they have proven to be one of the best teams in this week's Rumble. They just unfortunately ran into St. John's Bosco and Turbo, who is absolutely playing out of his mind right now. Him and Knight and maybe Spooky, probably your 3 that you're debating on for the ICCU Player of the Week that we will hand out at the end of this week's Rumble. But first, we got to crown a champion, and we are potentially 5 minutes away from St. John's Bosco picking up back-to-back championships. But what can Knight, Spooky, and Dante do? We'll find out with Game 4 kicking off right now. We see Spooky's going to win that one cleanly. Fear Classic, though, in perfect position, able to clear it away. Should be able to pop it up overnight. He's going to get an assist from Wallace as well.
The ball ends up really close to that orange goal. However, Knight does manage to get it clear with a follow-up and Spooky taking it back towards the side of the blue goal. Dante will elevate to try and spike it into the net, but there's not going to be enough for him to touch because both Turbo and Fear Classic are just doing a forward push here, passing between each other, showing great ball control. Dante does manage to get it clear back towards the blue side, but Walrus will send it right back at them as we see Knight take out Fear Classic and Fear Classic take out Knight.
Ooh, that demolition hurt because he saw Turbo pass it back. I think he expected Fear Classic to be in the play a bit sooner. Does keep it alive, but Dante's finally able to clear it.
Oh. Wait, did Dante blow themselves up?
I think Spooky lost connection.
Oh
and
no,
then
Spooky!
Jess was able to come back, so a goal was not scored in the 3-on-2, luckily. We're back at full strength. Spooky's reconnected, and he'll take a shot on net. Walrus chasing for it. Can he beat Dante to the ball? No. Dante will just kind of be a hazard in the way and slow him down. It's Knight now tries for a shot. Turbo gets a save, gets demoed, is able to clear it at least.
Got Spooky elevated and knocked the ball over towards Dante, who plays it around Fear Classic. Now they got to play it around Walrus and Turbo. Turbo elevates to spike the ball, but Dante spikes it back down. Spooky also comes up to try and assist with that. Turbo's now got possession a little too fast for the side of the team. The Prospects right now. Dante does manage to get it up onto the wall, forcing Fear Classic up there as well, waiting for them to bring it back down. We see Knight in this goal right now, trying to make sure that there is no easy shot.
Ooh, Fear Classic steals it from Knight. Dante makes a huge save to keep us tied. Walrus able to keep it alive. Turbo waits for his opportunity. Perhaps your screen finally sees it, but Knight able to just barely sneak it past him. Fear Classic wanted the pass, not able to get it down to Turbo with enough strength. And Spooky now clears it. Walrus will hit it right back. Great Olay on that demolition attempt by Dante. And now Knight just can't find it. Both these teams playing incredibly tough right now in the first half of this game.
We've got Fear Classic battling Knight right now for possession of that ball as the demolition comes out onto Turbo from Dante. Walrus will play the ball off the backboard. We see another demolition come out onto Spooky from Fear Classic. So now it's a 2v2. The respawns have finally occurred. We do see Fear Classic trying to get a shot on goal. The follow-up from Walrus is going to be knocked just a little bit to the side of the goal.
Turbo barely dunks that ball over Dante to keep it alive on the orange side, but Knight will hit it all the way down in the blue corner where Dante races in, not able to beat Walrus to it. Knight keeps it alive though, rattles it around the corner, but it gets cleared down. Should be an easy save here for Dante, and he'll just hit it right back towards midfield, but Fear Classic is there. Spooky now volleyballs it back. Assist from Dante, wide of the net. No follow-up. Walrus with a great challenge.
They try to spike the ball from that corner position, and they had the opportunity, but no follow-up on the net. Knight gets another shot in. It's saved by Turbo, and the follow-up is unfortunately thrown at the other team's car as opposed to the ball. And it's now back in the corner. We see Fear Classic and Turbo trying to battle it out to get possession. Fear Classic will ultimately take it up the side, elevating with this ball, playing it off the backboard. However, we'll leave it in Knight's possession. Walrus is there for the save at the mid, and Dante plays it around Walrus.
Dante pops it up over Turbo. Gets it around Fear Classic as well. Turbo and Walrus combine for a huge save. You see Spooky come in, just under a minute and a half left. Spooky gonna try and recenter it. Clear attempt. Knights having none of that, but Turbo's gonna wind up with possession. Walrus and Turbo both gonna elevate. Turbo goes for it. Can he play it around Dante? He can!
Woo!
And Turbo looking to seal up the series with a great goal with 1:11 left.
All right. Yes, they could come out with their third game win right here, but it is just a 1-goal lead. And it took almost 4 minutes for that 1 goal to happen. I feel like there is still a chance for the Prospects to even this one out as we see Turbo elevate to spike the ball off the ceiling, and one of his teammates is there. It's Fear Classic for the shot on goal. However, it does get saved by Spooky. We now have Fear Classic trying to get over to Spooky and beat the ball away from them. Turbo's got to come up and play the ball off the ceiling and the wall, dropping it down right in front of that orange goal.
Turbo can't quite pinch it off the wall like he'd like, and Walrus will go racing. Knight's gonna take a shot. Walrus makes a save. Knight overdrives it. Oh, it was a wide open net for Knight, and he just missed it barely, and that's a huge mistake for the Prospect team. They still have a couple more chances. 30 seconds left. Walrus trying to make them pay. Not able to find it. Turbo one chance. Not able to get it. Walrus on the rebound. Knight with the save.
We do see that the side of St. John's on the offense is trying to boost-starve the side of the Prospects, so they're not having an easy opportunity to make that offensive push. We get the turnaround of the ball at the midfield, resulting in that second goal for the side of St. John Bosco.
Goal scoring at a premium. That feels like that might be the dagger. Still 15 seconds left. Maybe something.
Kickoff goal.
Yeah,
Kickoff
goal would be the start of the comeback here for the Prospect team. They will win the kickoff. This puts them in a great opportunity, but Fear Classic reads it perfectly. He'll clear it down. Knight launches it back. They need 2 goals, and they've got to score quickly to give themselves even a sliver of a chance. Spooky's got to get this one in.
Oh, the
Fear
save.
Classic makes the save. St. John's Bosco will win the championship 3-1. They are back-to-back champs, Nerdy.
I feel like the Barracudas are going to be coming after them next week because, you know, when you get that third championship title, that triple crown, as you know, you would be like Seabiscuit in the world of horse racing, it's very satisfying. It's the trifecta. And whoever gets it first, I feel like because we have back-to-back champions more than once here, is like kind of the ultimate flex.
Yeah, that was a fantastic final. Way to go to all of our teams. Huge shout out to the Swerve, by the way. They have been improving every single weekend. I mean, the Barracudas are probably coming from St. John's Bosco, but they got to worry for their brothers, if you will, in the Esports Tower because the Swerve have been absolutely fantastic. I'm sure their coach is going to love reviewing their performance here. They took St. John's Bosco to overtime, nearly had a chance to win it. VOD reviews are a great way to improve your game and learn as a team, and the Swerve, I'm sure, and definitely the Barracudas look like from game 1 to game 2, you saw the improvement from them. You can see how the Esports Tower really puts in a lot of work because both those teams, incredible performances. Didn't quite get the W, but I mean, we had like a 7-goal game in game 1, and the Barracudas only lost by 1, and then the Swerve took St. John's Bosco, our champion, 3 minutes into overtime. Really impressive all-around performance in this week's Rumble.
Oh, for sure. I can't disagree with you on that one. It's just next week's going to be even better.
Yeah, this has been absolutely insane. It's now time for our ICCU player of the game. I know you were rooting for Knight and Spooky, but there's always that bonus when your team wins, and I don't think there's an argument that it was probably Turbo on the side of St. John's Bosco who absolutely had himself a series, especially in our final.
I'm genuinely voting Spooky because they took, I don't know if they could hear me, but they took that advice of that Rule 1, but in neither one of us are truly right.
No.
As I had a 50-50 between the two, I'm going to say I genuinely voted for Spooky. And our ICCU player of the game ends up being Knight, who somehow managed to get a 5-goal scoring round even after I accidentally said that they had.
You just gifted it to him. That was the reverse jinx there. You blessed him with it, but Knight is the player of the game. I mean, huge reason why. I mean, he absolutely popped off in this game against the Barracudas as well. A huge reason why they won that series. Huge reason they won their lone game against St. John's Bosco. Did everything he could and more, so huge congratulations tonight. He's our Idaho Central Credit Union Player of the Game. ICCU believes a great player makes a team more successful. It's like they're helping their members achieve financial success despite the loss in the championship. Knight, the ICCU Player of the Game, and it's a little bit bittersweet, I'm sure, because that championship just tastes all the more sweeter. But hey, if he comes back in next week's Rumble, if it's Prospect Team 2 or on a different team, Knight deserves a spot somewhere in the Rumble, and he's a guy you want to watch out for.
I honestly feel like if Spooky, Knight, and Dante stay together, they need to change the team name to be like Horror Stories or something, because like all of those names fall under that genre of like spooky things, scary things, like, I don't know, Creatures of the Night, Monsters Under the Bed, something like that. I feel like would be more fitting. But I totally understand that you got to have like the matching team Prospect 1 and Prospect 2, but I would love to see some creativity from you guys.
Yeah, I would love to see, a great team name. I'd love to see that team back in it, because we've seen Spooky first, at least to our knowledge. We never know when players change the name. We even saw it from Turbo in the middle of the series. So maybe we've seen Dante and Knight before, and they're just masquerading under new names. We have no idea, but they were absolutely fantastic. But in the end, huge shout out to St. John's Bosco. They're back-to-back champs. Somebody's got to find a way to knock them off. Well, we will close out this week's Esports Tower Rumble with our top 5 plays presented by the Idaho Army National Guard, who invite you to take your impressive critical thinking skills into real time. More than 10 jobs offering a $20,000 bonus and your degree of choice paid for. They're the best team out there. Reach out on Twitch at iGuard Gaming. Don't go anywhere. We've got Madden and Call of Duty coming up, but now it's the top 5 plays in a quick break. In the group play, we'll see if they can get revenge and if they can come out as back-to-back champs here and really maybe make a name for themselves as the team to beat in upcoming Rumbles.
Of course, I like
Center it. Clear attempt. Knights having none of that. But Turbo's going to wind up with possession. Walrus and Turbo both going to elevate. Turbo goes for it. Can he play it around Dante? He can!
Woo!
And Turbo looking to seal up the series with a great goal with 1:11 left.
All right. Yes, they could come out with their 3rd game win right here.
Shot Fear Classic reads the rebound perfectly, hits it out of the way, but a shot from Dapu giving Flux a chance. They hit the crossbar. Anthony spikes it home. And the Swerve are within 2. They've had some decent offensive pressure in the last minute or so.
My only thing that I would like to point out is that but they're just barely going to miss it. Fear Classic is trying to corral the ball into the corner. It gets spiked high above the goal with the follow-up from Walrus. Finally, 3 minutes into overtime, and the golden goal is finally scored by St. John's Bosco.
Yeah, you see, unfortunately, it looks like Flux was the only man there. Just couldn't quite get the elevation. Deke that one out, forcing Knight to maybe make a misplay. He does. Turbo steals it away. Ball in front of the net. Fear Classic. First goal that we've seen all series for him in the Rumble, and it couldn't come at a bigger time.
We've got 93 seconds left, and it is a 3-2 game, so I feel as though Team Prospects has the opportunity to tie us up.
But game 2's kicking off. Nice kickoff there, at least to keep it near midfield. Dante's going to have the first attempt here offensively. Going to air dribble it home! What? And my goodness, not as fast as game 1, but
I hope we get the nice side angle on. Look at this. He's not even like, wow. That was like